How are you? Nice to see you. It is another fabulous live conversation with your girl Suzette Speaks. I see so many of you already in the chat already. I've been having a long day on the legal side, so I decided today, although I love talking about personal development and I love talking about self improvement, I decided today I'm going to do a little bit on the law side. What's up? Are y'all feeling it? I want to welcome you. If you are new to this stream, welcome to those watching on Facebook and to those watching on YouTube. I see you. I'm excited because I'm talking about the one Tiffany Haddish today. I know I said I would not go into a lot of gossip or current events, but it seems like this is what you guys want. So I'll see by the response today what you feel. If you think it's an appropriate topic, great. If you don't, great. I want to hear your feedback either way. I see you watching. Thank you so much. The first person today was Mr. Lando Calrissian. How are you? Nice to see you, Lando. Big up yourself. I'm so happy to see you. It's been a minute. I know you say you haven't been able to catch me live. Every now and then it works out. So I'm so happy to see you and thank you so much for your support. Again, I'm Suzette Speaks. I'm an attorney and a television host and now a YouTuber. And today I wanted to do a little legal wrangling. I don't know. It was in my spirit. I had a long day at the office, as they say. But before we get into the topic, welcome. Again, I am a YouTuber known for her love and joy for personal development, self improvement, understanding emotional intelligence, learning life lessons, healing from trauma, and just making sure we try to uplift one another as much as possible, depending on the subject matter. And today I'm still going to do that. Don't think just because I'm talking law today, I'm not going to come with an approach that includes self development and self improvement. And again, what we can learn from Sister Tiffany Haddish. And again, if you know me, you know I'm not coming at this topic just trying to ride the wave or really hurt anyone. I don't have any intent right now to kick someone while they're down. I don't have any intent to, bring insult to injury, if you were. But I did see there were many lessons in the Tiffany Haddish story for all of us. And that's one thing I am big on, learning from others, understanding others' paths, why they do what they do, and how we can do it a little bit better. So say what's up, y'all. I'm looking at my light. My other extra light ain't working today. I hope I still look nice and bright to you, but I'm enjoying a long day at the office. I told you I was not in the mood to talk personal development today. I was more on the legal front. I had a lot of work to do in that area today. So coming on a little bit later than usual, but I'm happy to be here. And I'm so grateful that you guys are rocking with me, even though it's a little later in the day. I want to welcome you. Hit the like button as you come in. I see you guys so much. Please, please, please hit like and share if you can. We're going to be talking the Tiffany Haddish case a little bit and how it relates to personal development. As you guys know, although I'm an attorney, I do talk about legal topics, yes, with my Let's Talk Justice platform. That usually would be a Saturday, but all these Saturdays in January, I've been talking about personal development and relationships. You think I forgot about the politics and justice topics, but I have not. It is just, I guess, in the flow of things with the people I'm talking to and the subject matters that we are connecting on. It just happens to be more on love, life, and relationships. But I'm trying to set up for February some more political conversations. So if you are interested in those, let me know. Hit the like button if you like law topics. I'm really interested to see if I throw a little current events, do I get more love? Do I get more eyeballs? Do I get more views? Again, not everybody wants to talk current events. Some people are more partial to the self-development and the deeper conversations I've been having. But I said, you know what? I'm going to switch it up. Can't get the same or a different result by doing the same thing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try a little bit different. Hit the like button, y'all. I'm in a different type of zone today. I'm in my legal zone. So I was reading up about this case. Y'all can show some love on the Cash App. Appreciate y'all, all that you have done for me. All of you who have followed me, all of you who have been nice and early on the Suzette Speaks bandwagon, if you will. I'm appreciative of you. I'm going to drop the link and we're going to have a discussion today. That's not going to change. So please hit the like button as you come in. Again, I am Suzette Speaks. Again, I don't normally do during the week a legal topic, but I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today. I had a guest who said no, unfortunately, she can't come on, and I'm still in that frame of mind of law. So I was like, you know what? Let me find a topic that's going to dovetail with where my spirit has been pretty much all day, working hard, trying to figure out what you guys want to talk about when it comes to current events. So I really thought about this topic today, and I wanted you to come up and just, talk to me. Gaston's World. I'm gonna drop the link right now. Come say hi to the people. Gaston's World is one of the most fabulous. Hey, Real Deal Spencer. I see you guys. I'm sorry. I'm going over now. I'm dropping the link. Gaston's World. Come say hi if you have a moment. And if you're dressed, I know he likes to be in his suits. Part of your stream yesterday, Gaston's World, or should I say today, Gaston likes to go live at like 1 in the morning when people are sleeping, 2 in the morning. And he went live, and there was a gentleman on there called Wealth Engineering. And I've acted Wealth Engineering because there was something that was said during that stream. I don't know if Real Deal Spencer, no, it was probably Red Pill Hustle was over there in Gaston's World, Gaston's World. Gaston, if you could come up. No. No, she was. I'm not drinking and driving, and Tiffany Haddish was not charged with actual drinking. It was DUI, driving under the influence, but it was a marijuana allegedly DUI. So we'll talk a little bit about it. See if you guys want to talk about legal and pop topics. It's okay with me. I don't necessarily always want to talk about this, but I do want to include topics that have y'all's heart in it. So welcome. Hit the like button. Suzette Speaks here, going in to the legal realm today for you. I also want to pair it up with some of the lessons of personal development that I see in the story as well. But I thought it was interesting, not going to belabor the point, but I want to say again, my only intent is to kind of learn from what happened to Miss Haddish. It's not to tear her down while she's down. It's not to, go into a direction of, ooh, look at her, we're so perfect. It is opposite of that. I am praying for her. I'm hoping that she gets the help she needs. I hope she can find the help. That's all, the help. If you have a situation where you are seen sleeping at a light, and a 911 call was just released, I think 24 hours ago. The 911 caller described someone in their driver's seat at a light sleeping. And he was so alarmed that he called 911, and he said, there's a person in their car, I think, sleeping at a red light. Can you please send some help? So it was very interesting how this story has unfolded. Again, there's so much more to it. There's nothing worse than a person being, so down. And I do want to kind of also bring in some of the factors that she has had to deal with in the last several months. As you guys know, it's also been in the news that her boyfriend she have had a breakup of sorts since about November. She has dealt with some other losses that we're going to talk about, because I want to talk to you today about the choices that we make, particularly when we are emotionally vulnerable. The choices that we make when we are emotionally vulnerable. That can happen to any of us. No one is up all the time. No one has, all the answers. And pretty much in life, sometimes you get thrown a curveball and you're not expecting yourself to operate the way you're operating. Again, when you have a sense of loss and an emotional, very, very, what should I say, difficult place that you find yourself in, can lead you to do things you would never anticipate doing. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about, but I've seen it as an attorney. I've seen it in life myself. When you are in an emotionally vulnerable state, some of the choices that you make can definitely come back to haunt you. And if you know what I'm talking about, if you've lived a little bit, you probably know what I'm talking about. But we're not coming to this discussion from a place of judgment. I wish Miss Haddish the best. But I see you drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Like I said, I'm taking a little bit of a different approach. I'm in a legal frame of mind. I had a long day at work. If you guys don't know, I'm an attorney. I do personal injury cases. That means people who are injured, whether it be at a hospital, say they had a surgery and it went bad, and there's a possibility for medical malpractice. I work on those type of cases. I also work on any type of injury, slip and fall, car accident, all those type of things where people are suing their the other person's insurance company. So no one loses money. It's not about suing the individual. It's about the liability, and therefore, hopefully, if the person has insurance, who can pay for who's liable in the incident. But anyway, I came home. I was tired. I was like, you know what? I want to still talk about law because it was on my mind all day. One of those type of days. What's up, Gaston's World? I dropped the link. If you can, I'd love for you to come up, because there was something on your show, your stream last night, something that Wealth Engineering said. I watched it this morning. You guys know I'm not up when Gaston's World is up. Sometimes he like to do that 2:30 in the morning East Coast time stream. And he just had a fantastic one. Y'all go back and watch Gaston's World with the lead attorney. Oh my goodness. Was that like Friday or Saturday? It was fantastic. 2 in the morning, and a wonderful panel of gentlemen were just talking, and I like being a fly on the wall for those type of conversations. So Gaston's World, you doing some great things over there. Go subscribe to him. But Gaston, come up. There was something that was said by Wealth Engineering, who was another YouTuber, recently got monetized, that really made me want to find a pop culture topic to bring home a point as far as what he was expressing. There were about 9 men on Gaston's panel. I was, like I said, intrigued. I was with my neck stuck out, as they say, listening and trying to glean, how men think, what men think about, what are their perspectives, not assuming that I already know, because clearly, we are built differently. But anyway, I'm gonna get into it. Y'all ready? Put your location in the chat. Says RM. Shout out to RM, and fantastic moderator, and just a overall wonderful person. Thank you for having my back and for being here, working so hard. And I appreciate you so much for making sure the chat stays friendly. We are not giving legal advice. Let me go ahead and put a disclaimer up or two. We are not giving legal advice today, y'all. That's not what today's show is about. I want to analyze the series of events that led up to Tiffany Haddish's arrest. But I also want to look at them not only from the legal facts, but also some of the personal things that seem to have gone on in her life that led up to this incident, which was, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to fill you in with some of the facts of the case shortly. But I want to say hello to my people. Willie, Waka Whistle. Do I see a super chat? Y'all come on now. Where's it? Wagwan. I see you, David. Jamaica in the building. That's what I'm hoping that means. JM in the building. Wagwan. Big up yourself, David. Nice to see you. Gail at night. Fantastic. Nice to see you. Fantastic moderator, but a wonderful content creator in her own right. She too, you know who I should have added as well? Your recent guest, the real Nathan Daly, a former law enforcement officer. Gail had him on a stream. What was that, Gail? Like 3 days ago? That thing will fire. I listened intently again from a former law enforcement officer's point of view, what's going on in these streets. And Nathan also brought up some great points about what happens when you resist police officers and how it's often better not to resist. And those are part of the choices. I think like it would dovetail very well with this conversation about choices and the choices that we made and the choices that we regret. But shout out to Gail at Night bringing content, particularly that the men participate in with a fantastic guest. I see you, Wilda. Okay, already nice and early. But I wanted to find some kind of pop cultural topic that would allow me to do both legal exploration as well as some personal development. Y'all know what I do here. So we want to, again, show the utmost respect for Miss Haddish. I, again, do not wish this to be kind of like you pile on fest or we're seeing all the heartfelt, the challenges she's had from a lens of judgment. That's not what I'm doing here. That's not what I'm about. That's not what this brand is about. But I do want to use her kind of symbolically for what happens when we are at our emotional lows of life and things start to happen, right? Choices that we're making while we're emotionally vulnerable, right? While we are imbalanced, while we are mourning. It can hurt. Y'all, I see the super chats. All right, show some love now. I'm switching up the topics to a legal topic, trying to see what y'all want. So if this is kind of stuff y'all want, let me know. If y'all want pop culture, again, it's not in my wheelhouse per se. I'll find a way to make it legal affairs related, and I'll find a way to put the personal development piece in it. Just to understand that we're not going away from it. But if you want this type of stuff, Real Deal Spencer, big up yourself. This is one of my Patreon members. If y'all don't know, I have a fantastic Patreon and it's growing. My goal is to get 50 patrons, and I have, I think, almost 15 already. Holding office hours, couple times a month. Well, go on to my patrons. Big up Real Deal Spencer. Big up Gaston's World. Big up all of the patrons who have come through. Big up the Cash Appers. As we stated, and I think it was Jonathan Barronville who stated so eloquently on Gaston's World. Gaston, you're giving me a lot of material, bro. Because on Gaston's World, I've been watching your last 3 or 4 shows. And Jonathan Barronville talked about why he does give to content creators and knows that it takes time to develop the topic, take time to do what we do in terms of our craft. We're doing it out of the love. But unfortunately, there's also a lot of dedication and time commitment. So when we do not eat dinner immediately, that's what we do, and come home and say, what are we going to talk about today? Let me get the face ready and let me get it popping with my people so we can have a deep dive discussion that hopefully will enlighten them edutain them and keep them moving, forward. How do we do that? Well, there's some thought that goes into it. There's some pride of making sure we're doing what's right and pushing ideas and pushing theories that will serve you. So as I talk about Tiffany Haddish today, again, know my heart. My heart is not from a place of judgment. My heart is seeing somebody who has gone through a lot in even the last 3 months. She talked about her relationship openly, and so has Common, not having her boyfriend in her life anymore since the end of last year. She also lost a mentor recently. I don't know if you guys heard about the passing of Bob Saget. Shout out to those who grew up watching uh, Full House or Full House reruns. Either one, it counts. Shout out to Full House and probably one of the more modern day, prolific comedians out there who has done both stand up, television, all of that. Who she called Miss Tiffany Haddish called her mentor, a father figure, actually, is the word she used. He recently passed. So there's some indication. And again, I have not spoken to her. I am not trying to diagnose this lady. I know there's so many of y'all that read the story just like me, but I'm always trying to use others as an example for, what I can be doing differently and what I can learn. And it does seem from all indications, there was allegedly some turmoil going on in her personal life. So when you see a situation where someone is arrested for DUI in Georgia, I think it was Peachtree City. Shout out to Atlanta folk. If you're watching, it's near Atlanta. It wasn't in Atlanta, near Atlanta. And when we see people fall into some very, very difficult places and situations because of choices, it made me think, what kind of choices are we making when we are emotionally depleted? Come on, somebody. Y'all hit the like button. I'm doing better than what the likes are saying. I'm getting warmed up, but I'm doing better with what the likes are saying. Hit the like button. Come through. Let me know that you're watching. Again, Suzette Speaks here, TV host and attorney, turning the legal tables on you right now. Wanted to do a little legal topic today. Tiffany Haddish has been making news due to her recent arrest for DUI in Peachtree City, Georgia. And again, there were parts of it that made my legal light, go off. And there were parts of it that made my personal development and internal growth light go off when it comes to her story. So I do not want to sit here as a high and mighty person who is looking at a person who is literally at one of her most challenging moments of life. It is never that. It is more so to say, what can we learn from Sister Haddish? What can we learn about not making choices that don't serve us, particularly when we are emotionally vulnerable? Y'all hit the like button as you come in. I see y'all. Thank you to my Facebookers. Let me go read the chat because I know you like, Sue, we're here, here trying to let you know. Thank you for the Cash App support for my folks who have been hitting me with the super chat. Let me start with them. My super chatters, y'all see it, $ Suzette Speaks. And I will just say thank you to all those who plan to sponsor today's stream. Go to my Patreon, I can't say Patreon as well. Shout out to, I think it was Mr. Mayo, Tim Mayo is my newest Patreon member. Big up yourself, brother Tim. You just missed a wonderful conversation. This past week, we did, it's time to end the isolation. I think so many of us are still in a mental isolation, even though physically we can do more things with COVID. There's so many of us in a mental isolation that I wanted to talk about how we break free from that. We had a 2-hour office hour with me this past Saturday. So big up on my Patreons. I just appreciate y'all supporting what I'm doing. That's what it's about. If we're going to do this, if we're going to give our energy, our time, our love for betterment of our fellow man, I hope y'all will sow into what we're doing. Pastor Suzette says, well, welcome. Y'all know what it is. It's an easy breezy day. Legal topic today. If you like it, hit the like button. If you want to support, please do. Hit us with a super chat. Hit us with a Patreon member. Oh, shoot. I see this. The super chat popping. Okay. It starts here. Real Deal Spencer. Thank you. Okay. Patreon member. He says it's not a bad idea to mix it up. Thank you. That's what I was thinking today. Appreciate you, bruh. I think you being a lawyer can give us perspective that we haven't thought of. Exactly. I appreciate that. Real Deal Spencer has been an ardent supporter of what I do. And I can't thank you enough for being a member of the Patreon and still here giving, supporting the message. And I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to Real Deal Spencer. You see his thing, go follow him. Big up yourself. I see you, Jules, on Facebook. Big up to all the people watching on Facebook. Oh, Uncle Stu, you coming through too? Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Uncle Stu in the building. Thank you, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Go over to his channel, please. You monetized? Congratulations, Uncle Stu. Yo, this is happening for more and more of us. We have like a little, I would say, fraternity of newbies on YouTube. And I was telling Gaston's World, bruh, we are starting to see, the fruits of our labor. It's going to take a little time. And I respect that, you got to put in the work too. But this is great news, Uncle Stu. I will be a guest on Uncle Stu's show next Tuesday. Fantastic content creator. I hope you don't keep me on no hot seat like TLA, Uncle Stu. Don't do me like TLA, Uncle Stu. Appreciate it, Uncle Stu. Don't do me like TLA, Uncle Stu. Please don't do me like TLA. Please, 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 please don't do me like TLA. But we're going to have a friendly conversation. Hit the like button, y'all, for Uncle Stu. I appreciate you, Uncle Stu. And he is monetized. So, Uncle Stu, we're going to touch base and talk about the subject matter. Praise God. But that is, what date is that? That is going to be the 25th, I believe it is, next Tuesday. And I have a fabulous live stream at 4:30. And then we'll go over to Uncle Stu's at 7. So I'll be live next Tuesday later as well. 4:30 next Tuesday, the 25th. Y'all mark your calendars. And then I'll be over at, for 4:30 to 6:30 on my channel. And then I'll hit up my esteemed colleague, Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Big up yourself, who is monetized today. Congratulations, Uncle Stu. Appreciate you, and you monetizing, you giving. Thank you, sir. I hope I will be able to return the favor, and I will be very soon. Thank you, Uncle Stu, for supporting, and again, for inviting me to be on your channel next Tuesday. So fantastic. Y'all get the likes up. I'm about to give you some of my insights on the Tiffany Haddish case. What's up, Wilda? Oh, you on? Yay! Miami in the building. I see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I saw another super chat. Okay. Wagwan, Cafe Burro. Okay. 504 in the building. I'm at work, but I like the impromptu topic and time. Okay, fantastic. Like I said, y'all, I am a lawyer, so I don't always want to talk law. Sometimes you want to get a break from it. You want to, step back and talk about other things. But I do think for everyday folks, law is interesting. That's why I had started. If you go on Facebook, go ahead and like my page, Let's Talk Justice. This is a show that I produce. I also do certain YouTubes about it. Hadn't done it since the year has started, but I think February I'm going to pick up with some justice and legal topics, as I once did. I think the December break got me kind of relaxed, but I think I'm going to go back in that direction, possibly on a Saturday. I'm also going to reach out to y'all like, what's his name? The kosher clinician. I haven't emailed him yet, but I want him on the show too. I saw him on Chantel Simone's show, and I thought, yo, this man got something to say. So I was gonna bring back Dr. Tasha. Y'all love Dr. Tasha, but I was like, the kosher clinician might give me a different perspective, just being a man in his space and what he does. I'm going to reach out to him. I'm going to invite him and see if he could come do a Saturday. I will be back with Gaston's World. I think we're going to say first week of February, Gaston. And I will be on a super panel. Gaston, where are you, bro? I done dropped the link. Let me drop the link again for Gaston's World, because something in your show that you had at 1 a.m. yesterday prompted me to do this topic. There was so much in what Wealth Engineering, big up Wealth Engineering. I atted him. If you're in the chat, come on up. There's something that you said during Gaston's show last night at 1:30 in the morning about choices you made. And you know what Wealth Engineering said? I don't even want to speak on it, brother, if he's not coming up, but there was something that sparked me from watching Wealth Engineering. And he said he doesn't think he has made good choices in his life. And he was talking about a situation with, I think it's a wife, still a wife that he's going to be divorcing. And the choices that he made in and around her and in his life, he just felt like he looks back at where he is and he's trying to get the bag. He's trying to do his thing, but he does not feel he has made good choices. And I'm like, how can a brother say that? When, Wealth Engineering, if you are, I acted him, if y'all know him, see if Wealth Engineering will come up, because there was so much in what he said to Gaston's World last night that pricked my spirit. All of us are making choices. All of us are making choices sometimes when we're well, when we're in a good emotional place, when we are mentally, fulfilled and full, right? When we are feeling our best. And then oftentimes, as Tiffany Haddish has seemed to be enduring, there has been emotional depletion when it comes to some of her personal life. And I'm not saying that she has said that her personal life is in shambles. Her words in an interview. You can see it, I think, on TMZ. So when I saw those two things, coincide, this case, this issue, this arrest, with her in her own words saying my personal life is in shambles, I thought, Lord, this is the perfect case for me to talk about, because not only does it offer some of the legal aspects, but it also offers what I'm really passionate about, which is how you really feel on the inside is a determinant of what you really how you engage, your success with other people, your success with your life, if you will, is very, very dependent on what the inside of you is doing. We are good at the outside. Hey, we are good at the hair. We are good at the makeup. We are good at the mask. But what is on the inside, it's going to come out. Help us all, God. It's going to come out. So if we're not doing that internal work, and if we need the help, if we are not seeking the help, if we are not seeking the help when it comes to ministers or therapists, right? Licensed clinical social workers, psychologists, and if we need medication, psychiatrists. This needs to be normalized. This needs to be something we talk about. Because when we get in situations, when we're looking at Sister Haddish, and again, not from a place of judgment, do not get me wrong. I have nothing, I'm she, but by the grace of God, right? I happen to be in a good emotional place. I happen to have, stability in my life. But when your life throws you them curveballs, oh my gosh, then who are you? Then what choices do you make? So as I read the story and I thought about all the context, I watched, some of this YouTube Inside Edition. Shout out to Mosaic with TJ Ron. If I see you, sis, and we have talked. Thank you, Mosaic with TJ Randolph, about mental health issues and challenges that she has openly talked about on her channel. Go check out her channel, because she too has talked about what she suffered with. And TJ, I'm not going to tell your story. You're going to tell your own story. But she also was my first Patreon special guest, protecting your mental health during transition. She was fantastic. And I thank you, sis, for opening up my Patreon with your discussion. Thank you, Mosaic with TJ Randolph, because she too started her channel. Thank you, Mosaic, because she talked about how she had everything going on the outside of her. I'm not giving away the Patreon. All what she had going on around her looked good. New grandchild, new retirement, new husband, and on the inside she was dying and contemplating. You know what that is? That it pains me. Oh, God, I'm gonna read these chats. Shout out to my sis. You're giving me goosebumps. Shout out to my sister Mosaic with TJ Randolph. Her powerful message. Thank you for making time to be on my Patreon. Talk about your story. Give us a reminder that during transitions, my God, only thing that is certain is change. Only thing in this life that is certain is change. So when change comes, as it will, thank you, sis. Thank you. Shall I see you, Uncle Stu, again? Uncle Stu again? Queen of the South. Wagwan. She was saying that she couldn't get the live and that the algorithm was not letting me. Hey, Gasson's World, I see you in the back. Thank you for coming up, sir. Saying she could not get the live show because she couldn't get the live show. I'm glad you hit. If you're not getting my notifications, it's funny how the YouTube algorithm works. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, but you might have to go and like a couple videos and comment for it to show you when I'm live. It's just what it is. But I'm grateful to you, Queen of the South, one of my day ones. I see you, sis. Thank you. Oh, David, Wagwan. I see you. David Hunt, another fantastic. You know, I haven't caught one of your opening. He wakes up early in the morning, y'all. Starts the day on his channel with meditation. I'm still like, I'm not ready to wake up so early, but it's all good. I be exercising. But the meditation he does and the support he's given me, Wagwan. He's also a Patreon member, supporting the message, supporting home team. Appreciate you. Y'all, please go subscribe. This gentleman has a beautiful gift of music. Beautiful gift of music that he uses to minister. Oh, y'all ain't ready. We're talking Tiffany Haddish, but we're learning lessons from it. We're not talking it from talk show junk perspective. Don't give me that. Don't come up on the panel with that, please. This is not a gossip column. But there is so much in her story, both on the legal side and on the mental health side, right? On the emotional intelligence side, just by what is being presented, allegedly from the media, from TMZ. I was reading Inside Edition, I was reading TMZ just to look at what facts were being presented that we can also learn a lesson from. We can say to ourselves, we ain't gonna let this happen. If we are in emotional turmoil or if things start to, I think also her dog died. She always was talking about her dog. Her dog also passed away. So you lose your boyfriend and lose. You go your separate ways from your boyfriend. Hold on, sorry, language check. You go your separate ways from you and your boyfriend. I see you. Thanks for the super chat. Who is that? Let me check. Thank you, David. Good to see you, sir. Let me see. Gail, big up yourself. Hey, cash flow, wagwan. You know what? Dress scan waves. This what you over here doing? Is that what you're over here doing? Uncle Stu on the block coming through strong. Hi, I just sent for him. Thank you. Wealth Engineering. I want to hear from him. He had some powerful words yesterday on Gaston's World's channel. Gaston's World, I see you in the back. Thank you, sir. And it was something that pricked me when he said, and I'm gonna let Wealth Engineering come through and speak his own truth, because I was just listening again. Gaston's World, bringing the men together. The manosphere is well represented over there. About 9 men was on a panel the night, and this one last night was good. I watched it this morning, and there were so many little nuggets. Big up to Before the Billions was up there, Wealth Engineering. Also, my man, Mr. Real Estate, who I'm going to have on my show. Mr. Real Estate coming through Thursday, y'all. Mr. Real Estate will be here Thursday. He'll be my guest Thursday. I'm excited. But yeah, y'all just let it loose when y'all on Gaston's World. Y'all just want to be truthful and open on Gaston's World. I like it. I like it. When I go over there and I listen, he had TLA up at 2:30 in the morning. TLA was over on Gaston's World chilling with Jonathan Barronville, Mr. Real Estate. Who was Mr. Untouchable? I think is his name. Gaston, give me right if I'm wrong. But it's so interesting to hear men talk. Intelligent men. I love it. Gaston's World is on to something. I've been knew that though. That's my people. I've been knew that. But when he get them going and the way he moderates, it makes my soul smile. Because there are YouTube is a space. I'm talking about regular society, those spaces where you hear men. And I'm grateful. Gaston's World, big up yourself. Trash can waves, big up yourself. Talking about I'm not Uncle Stu, but I can put something on it. I appreciate you. Trash can waves. Thank you. Always making it interesting. Always liking to stir the pot just enough. I love it. Just enough. Causing a little, Jamaicans would say controversy, but just enough controversy to keep us on our toes. But thank you for your support. Big up yourself, Trash Can Waves. I'm grateful. Like I said, we are doing this for the love, but there is so much commitment. I pray that we just all continue to encourage each other and support one another as we push forward in this YouTube space. But Gaston World, I see you, brother. I'm coming up. I want to say hello to my people. You know I got to say hello to my people. Doug, well gone. Wow. Doug, I didn't know this part. Thank you for adding it. Another fantastic Patreon member. Thank you, Doug. Doug says, I think she was recently stuck in Istanbul, I think, and was treated poorly too. Who knows? I never heard this part of it. This is new to me. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. I hear you, Wilda. Come through. There's a season for green lights. Ooh, yes. And there's a season for yellow and red. Well, yeah. Okay. Sis, you want to... Yeah. There's a season for green lights. And there's a seasons for yellow and red. I think we get slowed down. I don't think it's by accident. But I think oftentimes the choices that we regret are the choices that we make when we are the most vulnerable. And I can talk about that. Y'all put something on this super chat for me, because for me to open up that side of me, the choices I made, the worst choices I made is people I've dated when I'm not emotionally stable. Oh, y'all don't want none. Okay, Gaston's World, what's up? Come on in, come on in, coming in. How are you?
Wagwan, what's up, Suzette?
Wagwan. My brother, how are you doing? How
I'm
is your
good, man.
day?
You put me on the spot. I was like, damn, I gotta get my head all oiled up. Shout out to TLA. Gotta get my head
Gaston's
greased
World.
up.
Like, why you calling on me though? Why you calling? I'm like, listen, your streams over the last week, I'm not gonna say they've been fire, but they have been fire. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah,
Your streams in the last week have such a wonderful organic nature and formula of just letting black men talk
yeah.
that it made my heart sing, especially when I saw that stream with about 10 of y'all up there with TLA at 2:30 in the morning. Y'all go back and go over to Gaston. Somebody hit the yes, thank you. RM, can you please, or Miss Gail, either one of y'all, can y'all drop Gaston's channel link? Because I think people need to see what he's doing. People need to see what he's doing. Yes, we start small, but it just made my heart smile. Um, okay, so tell people what you're doing over there and about the conversation last night. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy how it all works out. With just we all a lot of us are content creators in this space, and for those of us who aren't, a lot of us have thoughts. A lot of us have things that we want to say. A lot of us have questions that we want answered, and a lot of times we're silenced, right? Like we literally get pushed down and told to shut up and dribble, right? In our respective professions, but a lot of times we don't get the opportunity to express what we think or how we feel or whatever the case may be. And so that's the value that I hope my channel can bring to this space, to YouTube entirely. It's just, you don't have to censor yourself. You don't have to say what the right thing to say is. Now, you do have to be respectful. I think that should be a requirement in any society, anywhere you go. But you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to worry about. You know. You don't have to worry about censoring yourself for the fear of somebody's going to say something. Somebody's going to put you in your place, or
No.
ban you from the. You can't get banned on my channel because it's my channel,
Guess it's somebody.
right?
I ain't monetized no way. Y'all just say what y'all want. You made
Right?
me smile when you said that. Guess to say I ain't got no time for that. Just say what you want. It's a real conversation. It's organic. It is deep. It is vulnerable. It is open. It is
Mm-hmm.
well below the surface. And there was something I and me and Gaston talk offline. So I haven't even brought this up to you. So thank you for just impromptu coming up here because I didn't plan
Yeah.
for this, but it hurt me and it actually just touched me. Maybe it shouldn't have hurt me. Do you remember when Wealth Engineering said he doesn't think he has made any good choices?
Yeah, I remember him saying that.
And what did you gather? Because again, the theme today is about choices. Tiffany Haddish is the subject matter. We're going to talk about her in a legal aspect, but I'm going to talk also about the choices we make when
Mhm.
we are not in a good place in terms of being centered, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. So what did you gather when Wealth Engineering said he didn't like the choices or he didn't think? I think his words were, "I don't think I made any good choices." Y'all hit the like button, get them likes up. I was frightened by it. And it
Yeah.
stuck with me. And then when I saw this story about Tiffany Haddish, and then I thought about the choices she has been making, or
Mhm.
has made as a result of, or has led to this arrest. I kept thinking to myself, okay, I get deep. Even though I'm working, I'm like, what choices am I making, God? What choices am I making now?
Right.
What choices do I regret? What choices do I make when I'm, in a healthy place? What choices have I made when I'm in a not so healthy place? What were your thoughts when Wealth Engineering was talking about that? That's another YouTuber, y'all. That's who I'm calling him. And I'm gonna drop the link for Wealth Engineering. If he's in the chat, come on up. But what did you hear when you heard it? Did it strike you the way it struck me, or what did you hear?
So I will say that I think that men's emotional reactions are sometimes not as apparent, right? But I definitely care because that's a brother I have in this space. Shout out to Wealth Engineering. Um, with that being said, I think that a lot of times men don't think um, the emotional response isn't the initial response. It's mostly followed by logic, right? So it's mostly okay. Let's be objective. What options do we have in front of us? How can we solve this problem? We don't think And it's unfortunate, right? Because it's important to acknowledge feelings. It's important to acknowledge feelings. And I'll say that again, it's important to acknowledge feelings. And I don't want you to ever disregard anybody's feelings, because a lot of times we don't need validation from other people, but we need acknowledgement. We need empathy. At least just understand that I'm feeling something. I don't need you to feel it too. So maybe it's not empathy. Maybe it's sympathy. Just know that I'm feeling something, right? And I think that that's really important. But what's even more important than that is, after you come up with solutions, still go back and acknowledge that that person was feeling. So even for us men, because a lot of times we think, all right, what's the solutions? Let's put that into action. Then we'll do an after action follow up and let that be it. And a lot of times we don't go back and say, okay, how are you feeling in that moment, right? How is that moment? How, because essentially he was being really vulnerable in that space, and the last thing you want is for somebody to think, oh, well, I can't be vulnerable, or I can't be expressive in what I'm saying, because people are always going to look at me like I'm weak or less than a man, and that's absolutely not the case.
Absolutely. So
So,
I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna drop the link, y'all, because I want to talk a little bit about Tiffany Haddish, and I'm gonna keep you up here, Gaston, just so we can get the choices conversation going. Because I think, again, as you say, men's emotions don't always get a front seat or a front page.
right,
Most of all, in the media, when it comes to black men, we are often seeing them limited to, a bad actor. That's all you are. You're a bad actor. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care where you grew up at. Ain't nobody got time for that. You're just, that threatening, whatever, the stereotype, I guess I shouldn't say
right,
whatever, the stereotype. And who cares about your feelings? Who cares about, you guys don't have a chance to even express
right.
feelings. It's like life and death, depending on the circumstance. But what was real to me last night, and throughout some of your wonderful shows, shout out, y'all see his name right here, Gaston's World. Go follow him on YouTube. Is that you are allowing both the intellectual and non-emotional, if you will, as well as an emotional piece, to
Mhm.
be expressed and in a safe place, because that's what we do. Hello, that's what
Right,
we do in a respectful way. Try to open it up so that people can speak both from the mind and from the heart. Yes,
right,
because I think both count. I know everybody want to say, everybody, we're emotional beings. Women are emotional beings. Okay, yes, but so are you. So
right,
are you. When given the right circumstances and when you feel very comfortable, you can be very emotional and putting stuff out there. But yeah, so when he said that, when wealth engineering, I'm gonna drop the link, y'all. When wealth engineering said that, it hurt me. For some reason, I was like, I hope you
yeah,
don't really feel that. Like, it hurt me. It was like, this man who has a wonderful, tried to have a family, it didn't work out. He has a wonderful, I wouldn't say story, but he explained, my wife and I are just growing in two different directions. She's a simple,
mhm,
stay at home, picket fence type woman. And I'm like a go getter now. His light bulb came on and he's like, I'm trying to get this bag. And she doesn't necessarily see the value in that. And since he's kind of become more focused on his economic and financial growth, she has been pulling away. And again, they only know their relationship. I'm just going secondhand from what I saw on the show.
mhm,
So, but when he says, but I did make a good choice, the one thing about her, even though we haven't grown in the same direction, was that I knew she would be a good mom to our child. Do you remember this? And
right,
he was like, even though I was wrong, I feel, and I'm like, just because marriages don't work out, don't mean you was quote unquote wrong.
mhm,
You have a child, you have legacy. And it's like
mhm,
a person that's not fighting you. So I was like, can't be quite wrong. But the fact that he said the only thing is that he has the ability to, she's not going to be a bad mom. So that was a good
right.
choice. It
I
frightened
think
me. It hurt me. What were your thoughts?
so. Again, and I have to be honest. My initial response wasn't, let me give this brother a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was really more like, in a defensive mode. Like, let me protect him. Let me, help him, in any way that I can. From my perspective, right? That's all we really can do. Is not all we can do, but that's what a lot of, I feel like, men's initial thought process is to do, is to try to lend aid or fix, right? As opposed to, let me just kind of sit in my feelings for a minute. And whether that's healthy or not, I don't know. But that's kind of where we are. Um, and so if I'm just being totally honest, I hadn't given it that much thought into the feeling behind
Well,
it.
I put you on the spot here. I have been thinking about it all day, and I haven't talked. So we like I didn't get a chance to say, Gaston, what you thought about this? Because
Mm,
when I see good shows and I see good programs, we got to talk about it, and we talk about what did the content creator do well, what moved us and why did it move us and why was it good content. So
right.
I have been giving Gaston's World some fantastic feedback, and he's been giving me some fantastic feedback,
Yeah.
because that's how iron sharpens iron. So I had not given you this topic. I did not tell you this had moved me the way it did. But
Right.
while I'm listening, while I was working today to so many of you guys, we have such a great fraternity of content creators here. I'm listening where I can. Sorry if I'm not always in your live. It's not for lack of love. People
It's
just got
it's,
jobs.
it's, at, it's at 2 o'clock in the morning. I ain't mad.
Your lives are at 2:30 in the morning, Gaston. As
That's
much as
not
I
that is
want to
not the hey
moderate for
listen,
you,
hold on, y'all. That is not the schedule. So don't be like, oh, all right, man, I'm unsubscribing from Gas's World.
no,
You go
don't
live at 2 o'clock
unsubscribe.
in the
Don't
morning.
subscribe.
Nah, man,
But
that's not gonna be the norm. It's just
but it might need to be, because your late nights are fire.
yeah,
Your late night shows this past week, I don't know what you've been on, brother, but it's been some fire in terms of the depth of the conversation and the insight into the male's perspective on a variety of topics. So like I said, just like being the fly on the wall to open it up and just see, God, this is what they think. This is how they think. So with the Tiffany Haddish case, let me give some facts. I'm going to drop the link if you guys want to come up when it want to talk about, and this is where I was going to ask you guys, but I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. I don't want you to be put on the spot when it comes to how have you made choices that maybe you regret when you have been in a state of low emotional capacity or brokenness. Let's just put it out there like that. Again, I'm comparing it to what Tiffany Haddish has spoken of in recent news reports. It's alleged that, she, of course, it's, I think, fact that she and Common parted ways November. She lost what she called was a father figure in
right,
just a few weeks ago. And like this happens back to back. She was in Georgia apparently shooting for a Disney movie when this happened. And how that can take us an emotional toll. And on top of being a public figure, she is a
right.
public figure who has to figure out what her life is about. So I'm going to do a quick reset. I see so many people have come on. Welcome, y'all, as Suzette speaks for a little bit of a different type of midweek chat. We're talking about law and we're talking about emotional fortitude, preparedness, and vulnerability, and the choices we make when we are emotionally vulnerable. And I'm using as a case study tonight, not for brashness or ego, but for learning through an empathetic lens. Miss Tiffany Haddish, as you guys know, she has probably, or if you don't know, she has been in the news this past week for an arrest for DUI. She was arrested in Peachtree City, just outside of Atlanta. You've seen the mugshot. She was smiling in the mugshot. Police received a call, and the 911 call was just, I think, less than a day ago, released by a bystander who was at a light where Miss Haddish was alleged to have been sleeping in her car at a red light. And it alarmed the observer so much that they called the police. Once they called the police were notified, like, there is a woman in her car sleeping at a red light. Police were notified. Police showed up, caught up with her as she was turning into a residence. Miss Haddish then refused a breathalyzer test. We'll talk a little bit about that. Can you refuse it? Absolutely. And again, let me just say with my legal hat on. Hold on. Let me say, if you have a legal issue, let me just start there. Let me get some legal disclaimers up here. Hold up. Let me take this off a ticker so y'all can actually read this. Let me make sure I move it off of ticker. Yes, here we go. So I'm an attorney, but I'm not giving legal advice to any individual here tonight. This is for informational and entertainment purposes only. So if you, in fact, don't I sound like that law legalese at the end of every show? If you, in fact, have a legal issue, I admonish you, please, to speak to an attorney directly in your jurisdiction. I only practice law in Florida. But if you have a legal issue specific to you, do not use what I'm saying here as legal advice. That's not what this is. This is for entertainment and educational purposes. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, that's the TV hat. I have to get that out the way because I'm not here trying to give y'all legal advice. Unfortunately, you got to pay me. Guess they don't know me. Gassadell know me. Don't be wasting my time. But we're here for a discussion. That Gassadell, look at Gassadell is like Gassadell really know. They don't really know.
Hey,
Oh no, you don't really know.
the
If y'all
game is
want
to be
free legal help,
sold, right?
right here on YouTube though, you want free legal help right on YouTube. Let
Look,
TLA give out
nah,
divorce help, but nah, on the PI side, you gonna have to call and we will
look.
set up a Zoom
It's the
consultation.
difference. It's the difference between help and advice, right?
Absolutely. Gaston, real quick, tell them what you're doing with your channel, what your channel is about.
So again, Gaston's World. I'm a new YouTube content creator, and I'm all over this space, right? I'm in the Black manosphere. We're all having these conversations that have apparently never been had before. The talking points may be the same, but the players are different. And so I'm creating a space that will bring value to everybody involved. If you want to have the conversation, if you want to learn, you want to grow, and get to a place where our community can continue to move forward, or can move forward. Period. That's what my channel is about. Uh, that's the value I want to bring. So, absolutely, if any of that sounds good to you, come over and subscribe to my channel and have the conversation, just like we're having a conversation here with Suzette Speaks. So,
Yay! Gaston's where you see his name up there. Y'all go on and subscribe. He working hard, staying up when they're them late nights. Even got TLA popping through at 2:30 in a suit, trying to get him showing love, which I was like, yo, that's a big deal for TLA to pop up at 2:30 in the morning on your stream. It's saying a lot, sir. There's a lot of respect there. So big up yourself, TLA lead attorney. Allow me to meet fantastic fellow content creators like Gaston's World. Gaston, we became friends because of TLA.
right.
So fantastic forum that he has created through the YouTube Elementary, and etc. All right, show some love with a cash app, y'all. Hit the like button, y'all. We taking care of business here. As I was describing the facts of the case that we're discussing tonight, I also again want to take it very carefully from a lens of what was going on in her personal life, as she said herself. Her personal life is in shambles. She said that quite recently. And
Right.
so to see this type of DUI come right after such a statement, there has to be a correlation, y'all. And again, I have not diagnosed her. I'm not a doctor. I'm not any of this. I'm just a layperson with some common sense who can look and see, where the dots connect. And
Right.
for me, it has happened to me before as well, where if you're in an emotionally unstable place, when you have suffered a lot of trauma in recent years or days or whatever the time period may be, if you are in a place where you are suffering, if your heart is broken, if you feel a sense of loss, if you feel a sense of loneliness, depression, you can fill in the blank. But when you are not emotionally stable, the decisions you make will come back to haunt you. And I just wanted to use this as a learning lesson, not from a place of judgment, but from one of observational lessons, where it hurts sometimes to say it because I don't want her to feel injury from my discussion. I'm saying it because it could happen to any of us. Any of us can be in a place where we just get emotionally, thrown off by the changes of life. So again, I want to make sure I'm making my intention clear. It's not to throw stones at all. We all have a life to live, and this could be us in a second with the
Right.
stresses and the changes of life. You don't know what you'll do. But if you want to share a story where you have made choices that you were less proud of because of being in an emotional state, or in a decreased capacity to love, to make an intellectually based decision out of pain. If you have made decisions out of pain, such as what we are allegedly seeing here, that Miss Haddish has encountered, I want to hear from you tonight. I'm going to drop the link. I want to ask you about the life lessons that you see here. Thank you. RM is so busy in this chat, girl. Thank you. RM, I'm dropping the stream. Y'all see Gatson's World channel. Thank you, RM. Back to back. Thank you for keeping this going. Yeah, you say I saw the video 12 hours earlier at 2 p.m. I was like, what? Exactly. Sun Breeze Wagwan Bay Area in the building. Another fantastic Patreon member. Thank you, Sun Breeze, coming, bringing that Sun Breeze all the way from the West Coast to us here today. Thank you for being a ardent supporter. Thank you for being a Patreon member. You are fantastic, fantastic. Y'all get the likes up if you come in. Thank you. Guess's World still doing. I was wondering, he looking down, but he's still doing his his due diligence. Thank you,
Right.
sir, for letting them know this is not legal advice. Again, if I speak today, it's not with the attorney hat. It's only for informational and educational, and I would say entertainment purposes. TJ Randolph is in the back. I see you, TJ. Come on through, babe. I'm excited to speak with her. I see you guys. I have put the stream up. So if you want to join the conversation, speaking either from the legal aspect, we're wanting to add when it comes to the emotional aspect of challenges throughout life that throw you off, and when you make choices while enduring some of those challenges, it can really come back to haunt you. So again, my love and respect to Tiffany Haddish as an artist, but we got to be looking at the lessons we can also learn. So thank you. Jacqueline says loving this conversation while I work. Oh, thank you. Pretty, that's what it's about. Like I said, I switched it up today, gave you a little law, give you a little law with the Miss Haddish, and I thought about the rejection of the DUI test and some other things that she did as aspects that I wanted to get into. But I wanted to give Miss TJ Randolph a chance also to come and speak a little bit. As I said, TJ Mosaic. Yes, Cafe Puro says yes. I can take I can take RM. You taking my lessons from Gail. You right. Listen, between Gail at night and RM, I'm covered. And guess his world, I'm covered. But I'm gonna add this fantastic content creator now to the conversation because, like I said, she set my Patreon on fire. My first Patreon guest. If y'all don't know what Patreon is, it is a separate a platform that allows us content creators to offer exclusive info, exclusive discussions. I call them office hours with our communities. So if you are a supporter of the Suzette Speaks content and platform, consider joining Patreon. So she was my first guest. My first Patreon discussion, office hours discussion, was with Mosaic with TJ Randolph, and she spoke about maintaining your mental health during transition. And this is again is seemingly so like we talked about it a month before it happened to Miss Haddish because she was going through transition. She'd broken up with Common, lost her pet. That's big for a lot of people. Pets are like family.
Right.
Lost her what she calls father figure, Bob Saget, right? Not even a week ago. And then all yeah, Doug threw in she was in Istanbul, wasn't treated properly. It's a lot in this lady's life happening apparently, and it had to have. I'm not saying I know her, and I'm not diagnosing her with anything, whatever. But to have that type of impact, it is natural that we are impacted by things like this. So if you like these type of deep dive discussions, if you like these type of conversations that peel back the onion and kind of get to the root of the issue, where we can all pull out some kind of value, some kind of life lesson, it's time. It's time. It's time. All right, you ready, Miss Mosaic? TJ Randolph, you can unmute yourself when you're ready. How are you?
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good
How
evening, Mrs.
you
Gaston's
doing?
World.
Nice to see you. What's going on? It's been a minute. Like we had this wonderful conversation and we haven't really talked since it. How you doing, girl?
You know, it was Christmas and then was it Christmas?
It was
Around
like
Christmas
right after, I think. Was it right after Christmas? I think it was right
and
after.
then
But don't take it for lack of love. We both
and
busy.
yeah, and
And
moving.
I
Yes.
see your channel is very busy. She has fabulous ladies
Thank
tackling
you.
all kinds of topics with panel discussion. So you see her there, Mosaic with
Thank
TJ Randolph. But TJ, I know you had so much influence on me when I picked the topic, or we had actually talked together and picked the topic when it came to being ready, emotionally ready for transition. Can you share a little bit about your story? I don't want to give away like the Patreon was like over an hour of just ugh, like food for the spirit, food for the
you.
mind. So just tell us a little bit about why you started your channel and what you were gathering from the Tiffany Haddish circumstances situation that we're talking about tonight.
Well, thank you for having me. And again, thank you, Suzette, and greetings, Mr. Gaston's World. Um, I started my channel this past May 2021, after a series of transitional things to include mental health challenges caused me to consider taking my life. And it was at a time, I've been diagnosed with a mental health disorder upon leaving the military in 2007. And I take medication for it. And it had been managed effectively during that time. But something during that time frame of May 2021, I just couldn't shake this feeling that no matter how great things were going on, my daughter had a healthy pregnancy, my granddaughter was born, I had a loving husband, you know, everyone was safe from COVID. I just couldn't couldn't shake it, and I thought about walking out and literally battling uh, my mind not to walk out in the middle of traffic to end my life. And so,
My goodness. Mm-mm. We're gonna sell self delete. We're gonna say self delete just for the algorithm. But yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Go ahead. Hmm.
So when I believe God saved me from that, because I think I shared with you that the song from Fred Hammond came on at that very moment, and I cried and cried, 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 and I went back home, and I talked to my husband about it and told him I was dealing with, and so from that point on, I hadn't hadn't worked. So during the therapy piece, I was, a lot of times they want you to journal and stuff like that, and I really wasn't big on handwriting and stuff like that. So I said, well, let me do a video journal, and I was just going to do it a private journal for myself on YouTube. But then the stuff started happening with Naomi Osaka, and then I can't think of the gymnast name, Simone Biles. And I said, well, maybe because these women are and these people are at the top of their game also, but they're still battling, they're still struggling. So I thought that, I would share my stories and share my mental health challenge as well as, decisions that I've made in the course of dating, in the course of parenting, in the hopes that it would help somebody else. And I launched it in May because May is my birthday month, but it is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So it was a twofold reason that I launched my channel.
I'm so grateful, sis, because there's so many parts of it that your story resonated. Like I said, she gives a whole primer on our Patreon to kind of give the play by play. I know she's talked about it some on her channel as well. But the Patreon moved me so much, that conversation that we had together. So, what are your thoughts here on what we are seeing from Miss Haddish? Again, we're not here to throw stones. We're not here to come from a place of judgment. But can you relate to anything you see? What are some of the things that you're seeing from the story?
Well, it's interesting because I didn't know the ins and outs. All I did know is that, in YouTube, I kept seeing her face pop up in different things. I'm like, okay, what's going on with her? Different things, her breaking up with Common, and then the Istanbul, because I saw the Istanbul thing too. And I'm like, okay, so what's happening? And then
Yeah,
now
fill me into what you saw about Istanbul. I did not see that. What did you see when it came to
well,
Istanbul?
from what I glean or what I remember, I think she went over there to visit some of her people on her father's side.
Oh, okay.
And I think on her father's side, and she got stuck over there, flights or
Okay.
something like that. But
Mhm.
she wasn't treated. And I don't know the details, but she wasn't treated very well, and
Mm,
she couldn't get back in the States as quickly as she thought she would be. And then she
okay.
was, treated like
Yeah, like
not like a
outside comes.
celebrity, not like
Yeah.
a like a commoner. So I think, and then, and losing the fur baby, I completely get it. I
Yes.
had a schnauzer for 13 years, and when he passed, I thought I would lose it completely.
No,
So,
no, people get really attached. Pets are like family. Pets are like
yes.
family to many of us. Like I don't have pets, but pets are like family. When I see
Hmm.
my cousins, when I see my parents, they love a bird. It's like they into it. It's a
Yeah.
very big part of your enjoyment of life and just, bringing you happiness. So imagine having that, a huge breakup, a
Hmm.
public breakup with another celebrity, and
Hmm.
then losing your fur baby, then losing what she called her father figure,
Hmm.
speaking of Bob Saget. So I know you also face so many, as you just described, circumstances that just led up to you almost walking out into traffic and hearing those things in your mind. What do you think what people should do? Let's start there. And what was your big aha moment? Now you definitely explained it, like you heard this like voice telling you
Hmm.
go out there. So what did you do, or how can people approach this if this is happening to them now, or if it may happen to them in the future? How can you approach this, or what's the best approach that they should take?
Well, it's definitely a battle of the mind. It really is. And I would imagine if there's something going on that, it's not just simply being sad. It's more than being sad. It's a heaviness that you can't shake. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. And don't try to self-diagnose because it may be something that's just happening at the moment. But then you might need to get tested. But at the least you need to seek, a licensed professional counselor, um, and talk about it. And then they may decide that you need some additional support. They may, recommend that you see a psychologist or a psychiatrist. But I think that don't ignore it. Yeah, because sometimes, I was thinking about it when these different situations where people self delete, if they're going back and forth in their mind, back and forth in my, I should do it, I shouldn't do it, I shouldn't. And then and they do it probably at this time when they're just about to say, I shouldn't do it. Because it's literally a battle in your mind. And I'm grateful that I didn't, because it was literally a back and forth. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So I think many people are probably, or who have completed the act, were probably battling like that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is some serious, guys. We're using Tiffany Haddish as a case study, but nonetheless, it can happen to everyday people. Mosaic with TJ Randolph is telling you that it happened to her. So if you are, and that wasn't that long ago, ma'am. She started her channel last year as a result. So
Mhm.
as we are talking about this is real, y'all. This is not just a celebrity. Go ahead.
Well, what prompted me to call, though, is you talked
Hmm.
about choices
Sure.
that you make. And in 54 years, I was like, gosh, I've done a lot of stuff. Some stuff I'm not too proud of. But one of them is, for y'all that know, I was in the military. Okay. And as an officer, I took my oath of office very, very seriously. And there are certain things that that you should not do, because it could, not only in your career, but you can go to jail. Okay. Especially you mess around with government money, government credit cards. Well, this particular instance, I am an officer, and interestingly enough, my job was to process actions for officers who were doing uh, misconduct. Well, during this particular time, me and my ex husband, my daughter's father, we were battling. And who was in the middle? Our daughter. A situation, and I think I might share it in detail on my channel, but a situation arose and our daughter was in the middle, and my ex-husband said something very badly to her. And my daughter had to be about 8 or 9. And it destroyed her in such a way. All I wanted to do was take her pain away. All I wanted to do was just take her pain away. So what I did was, I didn't have the money at the time, but I knew she loved Destiny's Child. And it was their last tour as Destiny's Child. I took my government credit card and bought the tickets, knowing I was going to pay it right off as soon as I got paid. But the point of the matter is, I shouldn't have used my government credit card for something that was personal, even though I immediately paid it off before the bill came. It hit because it was a personal purchase. Okay. That could have ended my career. And could, and not just the career, but it was my livelihood to take care of my child. To take care of my child. But my boss called me in and he asked me about the purchase. I was prepared for my career to end at that very moment, because it should have. I was prepared to be disciplined, because by all accounts, I should have been. My boss gave me some grace that it didn't even result in a written counseling. That was grace that I did not deserve, but he gave it to me. And because I was out of my mind, all I wanted to do was to take the pain from my daughter. and I was willing to risk the career that I went into to provide for her to do it. So
Wow. This is
that's
think about it, guys. Like people talk about the choices they made and the choices they regret. Girl, that could have been a very big violation for you. You work for the feds, right? You work for the feds.
well, at the time I wasn't a civilian. I was in the military
Oh,
working.
girl. So
I was
yeah, mixing funds for personal use from a company credit card. I've had the number of people who have gotten in trouble for this. I was just watching Judge Judy the other day where a young guy wanted to pay, I think it was also on a DUI case, a bail, and used the company credit card that he used supposed to get gas from his, like, I forget, he was kind of like a journeyman. I forget what kind of career he had, but the gas card to pay like $1,500 bail. And it was in Judge Judy court arguing. I don't mean I'm laughing about it, but it could have been very serious implication. You're very, very lucky that you're
yes.
blessed that your boss did not pursue any type of criminal charges, because that is basically theft, grand theft, stealing from your company, stealing assets from your company. I'm gonna bring in Sir Links. Big up yourself. Thank you for sharing that. Choices that we make when we are not fully I'll say emotionally charged. We're looking as a case study at Miss Tiffany Haddish. She has had a rough week, y'all. Recently was arrested in Peachtree City, Georgia, for an alleged DUI. They, I think, suspected that she was smoking marijuana. A bystander who was in a different car called, said that they saw a woman that was sleeping in the driver's seat at a red light. Police were notified. They came, found her as she was turning into a residence. She refused. Let's talk a little bit about that. Thank you, TJ. I'm gonna drop you down. Y'all go ahead and please. They talking about they like y'all hair. Thank you for the transparency. I'm gonna flash her channel one more time. They're saying salute Mosaic, but if you see it right now, it looks like this mosaic with TJ Randolph, one of the realest. Thank you, TJ, one of the realest out here in these YouTube streets, offering herself up, and what she has done through her channel is tremendous, helping people with mental health struggles and also some good girl talk. What were you going to add, Gaston?
So I think I'll go ahead and chime in. As a lot of you know, I was in the military as well, and I never was in combat. So for anybody who has the opinion about people who didn't go into combat, come talk to me. But I was in the military as well, and I actually had a friend who I went to basic training with. We were at the same AIT installation. If you're familiar with AIT, that's your advanced individual training for your MOS in the military. And then we ended up at the same duty station as well. And he deployed probably a month or two into us being at our first duty station. And I think he was gone for about 9 or 10 months. And when he came back, he just wasn't the same guy that I met in basic training that, I knew, in AIT. And it's tough when you lose people. He came back, and I would say maybe a month or two into him being back, he erased himself. And a lot of times, like I said, as men, we don't focus on emotions, but when you're just overwhelmed, it's really you can't say enough about a person or how a situation makes you feel or what may have happened. And so it was just ironic when Mosaic was up here. I just couldn't help but just be reminded of that situation.
Yeah, she's
Like a brother,
with you. She
right?
sees you. She's like, listen, take your time. Michonne, Denise, y'all coming through. Thanks for coming back. I know there's a couple people streaming right now. I saw this with Lynx. Thank you. He knows Georgia very well. Thank you, Lynx. If you guys have not met one of my fantastic subscribers, Lynx, you see his name there. Can't wait till he really starts a channel out, right? He said he's been thinking about it, but he was one of my former, or should I say, forerunner guests on my first set of shows called God Found My Wife. If you have not watched those shows on this channel, go back on the Suzette Speaks show and go back on my YouTube page and go watch Lynx tell his story. It was one of the most riveting. I mean, mind blowing. I mean, I don't know how God. It wasn't no Cinderella. Let's put it like that. It was messy, and it was all God. So Lynx says, "Thank you, Lynx, because he knows Georgia. Part of his love story occurred there." He says, "I know Peachtree City very well. Not a lot of us there. Mainly retired pilots. Wow, with runways in their backyards. Interesting. We stick out." Like sore thumbs. So you
Yeah.
try to say thank you for that insight. I know a lot of you are representing Atlanta and surrounding areas. So if you are familiar with actual Peachtree City, thank you. Like Links, this is some great insight. So sounds like it's in the outskirts. It's not really a lot of us melanated people. So
Right.
wow, mainly retired pilots. Interesting, with runways in their backyards. Wow, that's very interesting. We stick out like sore thumbs. Okay, so I'm sure it didn't take them long to spot. There she is. There she is. I'm laughing about it, but it's only, with love, and that last statement being that we probably do stick out. So know how that goes. I'm thinking small town Georgia, so I can see it. Yay. Real deal Spencer, thank you for showing us some love. Salute to the vets. And in your real life, can you just tell me what you do for veterans? I'm sorry, I'm just plugging gas
Yeah.
right.
So,
Sorry.
no, I'm a, veterans advocate and life coach. Because of that scenario and what I went to following up that scenario, I had to do a lot of self growth, a lot of self help. And I know how difficult it can seem when you're a veteran and you've gone through things and you sometimes don't feel like anyone else is there to go through it with you. And so that's what I do. I'm a veterans advocate, in that, I that absolutely assist veterans in their times of despair like that. And then I'm a life coach as well. And so when veterans have to file claims with the VA and stuff like that, I absolutely assist them with that process.
I love it. Gaston is on. He has not only served, but he's now helping others who have also served. And I think just like if he's out here, drop a comment, Seattle Black veteran, y'all are like cut from the same cloth
Right.
because you guys see the benefits that veterans can get and they don't take advantage of it sometimes. And again, here goes that mental health piece. Hello,
Hmm.
here comes that emotional stress piece. Here comes all of that. And I'm glad men like yourself, the Seattle Black veteran, and others are out here trying to, make a difference. Thank you, Real Deal Spencer. He is also, like I said, a member of my Patreon, always helping out and showing some love. I appreciate you so very much for supporting the stream. I see Mosaic saying, yes, that was an excellent interview with Links. The God Found My Wife interview was great. For sure, for sure. Y'all got to go back and watch it. Thanks. Links is thanking you, TJ, for your transparency. Thank you so much, Links. She responds. I'm all in the chat. You know how that go. I'm gonna leave up Spencer's though for showing some love. Gaston, I'm just gonna pull you away for a quick second. I'm just going
Okay.
to do a little bit of to give a little bit of context on the whether you can deny a DUI breathalyzer test or some kind of sobriety test. Now, I will say again, this is not for legal advice. This is just for edutainment, if you will, and information. So every state is different, but I was doing some research because I don't do tickets. That's not my area of law. I do personal injury. So I was doing some research earlier to talk about, hopefully be able to talk to you guys about, and let me put my little disclaimer up. If you have a little legal issue, please contact an attorney directly. But I was doing some research on it, and it was interesting in Florida. Now, every state is different. You got to look up your laws in your state or speak to an attorney in your state. I was looking up some of the presumptions of Florida. And it was very interesting to me because it was saying that statistics show that nearly 40% of Florida drivers refuse a sobriety test. That's what statistics show, right? But what Florida has, one of the things that are unique to Florida is that we have something called implied consent. By them giving you a driver's license in Florida, you have consented, it's implied that you will be able to, if needed, provide a sobriety test when requested. Now, everyone has a right to refuse it. You can refuse it. But in Florida, under the implied consent doctrine, I was reading that one refusal of taking a sobriety test can, in fact, have your license suspended. I said, oh, Lord, people I don't think know this. They refuse. But if you refuse, get an attorney like right away because you're giving implied consent under the laws of Florida. having a driver's license, you are consenting. It's implied, is what the doctrine is called, that you will consent to sobriety test. Now, again, everyone has a right to say no. But if you do say no, in Florida, I'm speaking of, I was just reading online, there is a possibility that your license can be suspended. All right. And then for the second refusal, I was reading that it can carry an even harsher punishment. So if you want to do this, again, speak to an attorney that practices in that particular area. I'm not like a ticket or driving or traffic ticket type lawyer, but I was doing some research just out of my own, curiosity, because she was in Georgia and she refused. But in Florida, I was very interested to see, wow, you may think it's beneficial to refuse it, but there are implied consent laws on the books in Florida, right? So if you refuse to take a breath test, from what research I've been doing, you got to hire legal counsel. That's all I got to say about that. And it's very interesting, again, through the doctrine that we use here, that if you refuse it, there's penalties, that your license can be suspended for refusing to take it. And there's so many parts of that depending on your specific circumstances, it would depend on what you probably should and could do. So again, everybody's circumstances are unique. It's not across the board. And again, this is not for legal advice. I just want to give you informational purposes only. If you have a specific set of circumstances that you want to discuss, contact an attorney directly. This is not for legal advice. Viewer discretion is advised. All right. So that just because of my own state, I was very much interested in what the heck is going on, but I had no idea there was implied consent doctrine that on the first refusal, your license can be suspended, and for a second refusal, it can be even harsher, et cetera, et cetera. I guess some of the mentality behind that is that if you don't have nothing to hide, you should be taking your breathalyzer. But 40% of people on average, I was reading one report in Florida, refuse it. Right. But there are penalties because of the implied consent laws here. So every state is different, y'all. It was just something that I found very interesting here. But appreciate you guys rocking with me. I see you. Let me see if you guys have any more comments. I want to drop the link one more time. And I'm going to see if y'all want to come up and talk about any of these decisions that you have made, especially when you are emotionally vulnerable, that you now regret. What I'm seeing with the Tiffany Haddish case, as much as I'm interested in what she did, you guys know that what really makes me tick is why she did it. Why did she do this? And again, we're all adults. We all make choices. It's not to invalidate or to not hold her accountable or any of these things. But I also saw there was so much in the news about her personal life recently that there seemed to be some correlation. I think even, they say Stevie Wonder could see it. There seemed to be some correlation with the stresses, particularly the emotional stresses, the personal relationship stresses that she had been enduring over the last couple months, from the breakup with Common to the loss of her fur baby, to the loss of what she called her father figure in the business and close friend Bob Saget recently. It's not by accident, and these things do not happen in a vacuum. There's so many people suffering in silence until one choice, when you are emotionally vulnerable, takes you down a rabbit hole, causes you to lose way more than you had planned for. And you weren't even well when you made it. I'm talking about spiritually and emotionally and mentally well. You weren't even well when you made it. So I want to talk to you, and I'm going to drop the link. And thank you, RM, for dropping the link. I see you. Salute to the Black veterans. Let me bring Gaston's World back up. Fantastic veteran who has been an insightful part of this program, has his own channel who he's like cranking it out. I don't know. He be feeling that gusto after 12 midnight. I don't know what it is, the coffee or what. The Starbucks at 12 midnight got this brother going. But some of the recent shows on Gaston's World, y'all see his name. Let me put it up here. Salute to the Black veterans for real. You see his name up here, Gaston's World. Go ahead and subscribe, because like I said, even if TLA himself was on Gaston's World at 2 and 2:30 in the morning, chilling with the brothers, 4 deep, then 9 deep, then I'm like, oh, this is a party. This is what y'all doing at 2 in the morning. But I told Gaston, I listened to it while I was jogging and I could not put it down. I was like, this is such good material. This is a good podcast. Like, we might have put that thing on Spotify. It was so good to hear the different perspectives of the men on different topics. from Joe Rogan, and whether he sold out, and Jonathan Barronville giving his insight about that corporate money and that corporate bag, and just so many different topics. Y'all was going down like a windy road, and I was just enjoying the journey with y'all. Yeah, you on mute, you on mute, you on you mute. They can't hear you. But Gaston's World is popping, and I'm grateful and I'm glad that he's here. And like I said, this stream today was inspired by one of Gaston's World's guests, and I hope he comes on. I was trying to give him time to get over here. But wealth engineering, one of the guests on last night's 12 in the morning Gaston's World show, wealth engineering, talked about the choices he made. And he said he felt like he had not made good choices in his life, looking from like 18 to where he is now. And I thought, no, 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 that's not the right way to look. Me. I'm like, no, don't think of it like that.
Right.
But he was being honest. He was being open. He was speaking his mind. And I thought, wow, I look in the news, I see Tiffany Haddish, and there's a choice she made. And there has to be a discussion around it because many of us are making choices when we are in pain, when we have suffered trauma, when we are just not in our a whole power and our full selves. That's real. So I thought not only was the legal aspect of this case interesting to me, but also the emotional, psychological, mental health awareness side, being that there was so much talked about in the news with regards to what was going on in her personal life, and she herself saying her personal life was in shambles. So I'm grateful for y'all rocking with me. It's a law-ish topic. I appreciate it. Y'all see Gaston's World. Hit the like button, y'all. I want to get the likes up to 100, please. All right, let me see what the chat has to say. Here goes Duty and Honor. He's talking, I will be consumed. I don't know what y'all on. I don't know what state you in, but again, check your local state laws. They vary from state to state. And the first one and the only one, I should have looked up Georgia's too. Do you know, Gaston? Have you
Yeah. So
uh,
it's actually the same here. If you
uh
refuse in field or in station sobriety test, then your license will automatically be suspended.
Well, that's what they do. They're trying to force you into it.
Right.
But you have technically the choice.
Right.
But yes, there are penalties. There are penalties. We see you, easy gospel piano lessons, whatever. I see you. I see you. I see you. Thanks for coming in. So the link is there, guys. If anyone else wants to come up, hey, the work from home wife of Atlanta. Great show of compassion when others are making a mockery. Listen, we ain't about that life here. I
Right.
do not. That's not the energy I want to put out. That's not even close to the type of person, thank you Lord, I have grown to be. um from a little girl till now, others downfall is definitely not where we're going to stand and cheer. It's definitely going to say how can we help and how can we learn from. So this is not, again, I laid out hopefully well enough that you guys can understand, this is not from a point of view of gossip or of malicious intent to defame or bring down a sister when she is definitely obviously in need of help. So
Right.
I just wanted to, again, it's news, it's in the algorithm, it's we wanted to see. I want to test the waters though and see if y'all like legal topics too, and if you want to hear me talk about law as it relates to both life as well as personal development. But check out the work from home wife of Atlanta, Bernard S. Patreon member in the back. Okay, Bernard, I'll bring you up shortly. Thank you for coming up. But go find this young lady's channel, the work from home wife of Atlanta, giving us a sneak peek of her life. I saw the last video, very nice, of her life behind the scenes as a work from home mom. She also does great at home workouts. I wish I could do it when you are doing it live, but my schedule does not coordinate, so I always catch it after. But if you want to do like a quick at home workout, check her out as well. Thank you for your support. I really, really appreciate you. Yes, thanks all the veterans for their service. Pro Woman J says, very, very deep. Just goes to show that money, success doesn't solve every problem. Bernard, I'm bringing you up now, sir. Yeah, money makes you more of who you are. Tiff, at her core, is still vulnerable, and that's a very good observation because I think Tiffany Haddish has also talked about how she grew up. She was a child in the foster care system. And
Right.
she doesn't hide that. She's very vulnerable when she talks about her rough upbringing and having her clothing. I remember her on an interview, I forget with who, talking about her clothing being in a garbage bag and how she would have to slug this garbage bag around like her stuff was garbage. And she was like, here I am, I'm garbage. I'm a little girl and all my belongings are like in one garbage bag over my shoulder. So yeah, a lot of times money don't fix that internal stuff. Help us all, Lord. Money don't fix that internal stuff. It'll just show it out who you really are. It'll just I could not agree with you more. It just brings it to the fore. Thanks for that, pro woman Jay. Links, wish I could join you. I'm in the car. No problem. I know you have a word, Sir Links. I know you have a word. Pro Woman J adds facts. Tony Robbins says make choices from a position of certainty. From that position, it's usually will be all good. Absolutely. We got to make sure we are centered and balanced, healthy in our mind, in our spirit, in our body, even, so that we are making the best choice possible. I agree with that. Yes, Tolu says it's dope that the manosphere and the feminine side can link up. Yeah, man. And talk amicably and respectfully. That's what I'm telling you. I don't even like to say I'm a part of manosphere because I'd be scared when y'all be saying that. I'd be like, am I a part of the manosphere? Well, I like, guys, and I like guys in my conversations. But I feel like there's so much pressure with it, with that label. But I hear you. I think this is an important step. We can't be talking at each other and over each other and just to each other's own like base. We have to be talking across, the aisle, if you will. So thank you, Tolu, for that observation. Blue is my color. Thank you, Boo. I had to put on a little blue eyelash, little eyeshadow today to match. I was in a lawyer mode. Today was all of that in a bag of chips. I got off late and I said, I'm going to do a legal topic. Let me get home and let me see what this Tiffany Haddish story is saying. So I appreciate it. Thank you, darling. And go support the work from home wife of ATL. You see her up there. But Bernardus, I see you. Thank you. How are you today? You can unmute when you're ready.
I'm doing fine. Big up to my man Gas's World. I'm also a life coach. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hope to work with you soon. I'm about to, not about to. I'm going to build an empire. It's going to be to the point to where I have life coaches, and then if it's past us, I would have therapists on hand. So I already have a company, so I'm just building it up. So we definitely will be linking up.
Okay.
And I would, have you definitely probably have more towards geared the veterans. I was like, hey, go see my man, so we'll work that out though. But back to the regret. I saw my dad on a Thursday. I had been with my dad. My mom and dad had been together all their life, all my life, me and my brother's life. So she finally just got tired of my dad and, she put him out or whatever, 17. So I'm riding down the street. I'm with my guys. And I see my dad and his sugar so bad, he could not see me until he got up on me. And he looked me right in the eye. And I looked at him like, I'm not used to you not being at the house, but I was so mad. I was like, I just feel like I should turn around and go confront him. Like I wanted to punch him literally. That was Thursday. Saturday, he was dead.
What?
Let me tell y'all something. I don't know any worse regret. Some of you might have been through that in your life, but let me tell you something. It was a chain of events of multiple attempts of that. Because of that, won't no therapy even thought about back then. We talking about the 90s and the early 2000s, but he died in 91.
So it's a while ago. This is before the therapy movement. Absolutely.
Way before that. So the first attempt was like right when my son was born in 96.
5 years later. Wow.
Yes, because
still hurting, still in pain.
Oh yeah. And I'm the oldest, you feel like, I literally went to the graveyard and spent the night at his plot. Then the second one was 2004 because by then me and my son's mother not together because she didn't want to get married. So I went to child support out on myself, met my daughter's mother, and we got married. But by 2004, I'm with nobody. I had taken child support out on myself, and they were in that frame of thought. Is that the word I want to put? The modern women are in.
Oh Jesus!
So then I'm just like, you got that question. Why am I even here? Right. So that was the second attempt. But that regret of a family member or somebody you love, I'm gonna tell everybody on this chat, if you don't hear nothing else, it don't have nothing to do with preaching. This is life. You don't have time to be mad at somebody you love because it will happen and it can happen to you like it did to me. And I'm gonna tell you something. I pray. I was deep into the church to the point where I was in seminary school. That didn't do it.
Mm,
That type of pain.
right.
I couldn't even pray that away. Like
Wow.
seriously, I couldn't
Mm,
fast it away. And I'm
mm.
just being honest. I'm coming from a family where I'm talking about where a praying family. Like my mother brought my grandfather back twice from the dead, and he lived 10 years. After the second time he came back, prophesizing what he saw while he was dead. So
So
I come
y'all
from
come
a
from like a deep
yeah, yeah, yeah,
spirituality.
yeah. We in it.
Mm,
But
mm,
that right there is what I regretted for the longest time. I would say in the last about 10 years, like 2010, I finally got myself to where I pretty much wasn't as heavy as I should be.
mm-hmm.
I didn't get into the real self help. I probably say like my brother Gaston said, probably until the last 2, 3 years. I've been reading up on emotional intelligence for 2 or 3 years, but now that it's a hot word, I don't even want to do anything on it because it's a tag word, but
Yeah.
it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
So I'm that guy. I like to do what everybody else is not doing. But
Mm-hmm.
on the regret part, that leads to my sister, who I when I heard that about Tiffany, I was like, who was there with her?
Mm. Who was her
Because
support system? Yeah.
right,
Because,
who
yeah.
where were they at?
Mm-hmm.
That was my first thing. Like she was my sister. Like if I heard that about you or Gaskins, I was like, well, who was with him? Because
Mm-hmm.
honestly, Gaskin hasn't seen me in his chat, but I've been on the joint. Been in his chat. I'm like the watcher. I just sit back and watch. I don't say nothing. You don't even know I'm in the chat. But the way he carries himself before the billions, and I know before the billions, Dad, I would probably fly to y'all. Like where he at? I'll get Uncle Stu because me and Uncle Stu like a city over from each other. And intentional millionaire. I'm like, hey, because I know he got connects. Well, where they at? I'm flying to him. I'm that guy because I know how serious it is.
Speaking of, I'm gonna ask Gaston just to drop down. I know you have another obligation, Gaston. I appreciate you coming through, boss. Thank
I'm
you,
glad,
thank you,
glad to be here. Thanks for having me up, Suzette.
thank you.
Yeah, man. Nice meeting you, bro.
Appreciate you,
Nice to meet you
Gaston.
too, man. All right,
All
y'all take it
right.
Yeah,
easy.
All
yeah.
right.
I didn't know. Wow, this is something that is so deep.
Yeah, well, it needs to be talked about because
Mm,
women talk and men don't. You start with Barbie and Ken, we're playing with army men.
I know, right?
Then you go from army men, you're learning about marriage and staying in the house with your dollhouse. Y'all go from that to novels, and then we move to dirt bikes or video games.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, we do the proms, like, and the poor
Be a
guy,
gentleman.
right?
Yes.
And the
Buy
poor
the
guy doesn't
flowers.
even
Help hurry into the
realize.
car. Yeah.
Right, right. The
Y'all get
poor guy
skip
doesn't.
ahead.
He
Yeah.
doesn't realize that's the prerequisite. Like, man, this is like the next thing for a wedding for her. And then
Yeah.
you get to the wedding, and the dumb guy saying, "I do," and I'm like, she been practicing all her life. You haven't.
You don't know what's coming.
But
I don't
but
mean to laugh,
those are
but it's just
facts.
real. That
It's
is definitely
real.
like the
It's
lack of
real.
progression. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now you're about 10 to 15 years of learning romance of your husband in
Mm,
most cases.
mm,
But then again, going back to my sister and all of us that's
mm.
been through something like that, or even had the thoughts. I'm not counting none of you in the chat that just had the thoughts. We're not counting you out. I'm not doing
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
not happening. That's not happening. So for those of all of you that had the thoughts, we're nothing but recovering children as adults.
My Lord. That's a real word. The injured child. I know we don't like to talk about that, but so much is the residual. And Mosaic is saying,
Ah,
thank you for being, so transparent. Blessing to you, Bernard. As I think, yeah, this is a heavy subject, y'all. I'm not gonna take it like lightly. A lot of people can be triggered by it. A lot of people
mm-hmm.
understand that this is. Thank you, Friendsgiving. Big up yourself. Big up.
Yeah, and that's all I came out to say, and that's pretty much
No,
what my
you,
channel.
like I said, it's gonna help somebody. When I have these discussions, y'all think it is all by design, but some of the most organic ways that this helps people. Wealth
Mm-hmm.
engineering, Mitak Mocho. Sorry,
Yes,
Bernard.
yes. Bring
Let me
him
let
up.
you drop down. But I'm grateful that you shared that, because look at the healing. This, I just wanted to point that out. 91, heaviness 95,
Mm-hmm.
all the way to 2010, almost
Mm-hmm.
20 years,
Mm-hmm.
almost 20 years
Mm-hmm.
to get the healing, to get that heart residue healed.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
many of us, and again, we don't know all of Miss Haddish's, inner workings,
Right.
because if I listen to her, as I hear interviews about her, I was like, this woman who grew up in foster care. This woman did not have a better roses type upbringing,
And
and
that's
to
why I
have
want us
this
to
type
send
of
love to her.
success,
Yes.
yeah. And I
Yes.
thought, who is you
Yep.
right? Who is her support system?
Yep.
And to think about the exposure, the public breakup, that in
Mm-hmm.
of itself, I would just ah, lose it.
Yeah.
Then all this, and now this on top. They gotta this when people really need to be in her life right now,
Exactly.
right now.
That's my main point, and
When
that's why
she
my
needs,
show is
mm,
my channel is going to be about this stuff. It's not going to be about gossip. If we're going to talk about somebody in the news, I'm be like, what went wrong in their mind and who's around
exactly,
them. So
exactly.
thank you.
Give
Get wealth
yourself
engineering up here.
blessings. We're not us. We're gonna have to set up a show where you come and be a guest. I
Oh my
love you, brother.
goodness.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Patreon member,
Much
big
love.
supporter. Can't wait for your content, sir. Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
very much. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
drop the link. Y'all
All
see
right.
his channel, Bernard S. God bless you, brother. Thank you for sharing and coming up. All right.
You're
I'm
welcome.
gonna drop the link. I'll see you soon. Join the conversation. Wealth engineering. I have been talking about you all show. I'm glad you're here. And let me get back to my not cash apps, my wonderful super chats. It is Friendsgiving. I don't know if this is the first time you've been over here, but thank you. I appreciate you for showing love. No comment, just pure love. I appreciate you again. I went for a different topic. I didn't do personal development in just its raw form. I wanted to put a little legal twist to it. I was in y'all can tell, my lawyer hat today. I was in that lane. Had me a little headache when I got home. I was like, I'm gonna still do the stream though. It's not at 3:05, but I'm gonna still do this stream. And I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna just tie it into what's in my spirit. I've been in the kind of legal mode all day. I said, let me pick a legal topic. Let me see if folks really want that. I have kind of backed off of that in January. I'm gonna bring it back for February though. Don't sleep on it. But the mindset I had today, I was just like, okay, I have to talk law because that's all I've been talking about all day. And the Tiffany Haddish story keeps coming up and it keeps coming up, and it's in my timeline both on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. And I kept thinking, well, let me go ahead and read more about the case, see what I can bring to it as far as the discussion. But what really struck me is all of the different ways she was struggling in her personal life and how I know it has contributed to some of the things that we're seeing of her. Thank you, Friendsgiving, for being. And then the man who I've been talking about, I hope I've been telling you, Wealth Engineering. Uncle Stu said he told you, but there was something that you said, sir, on Gaston's World last night that really, really touched me. That when you said about the choices you make and choices that we regret. And I didn't mean to tell your own story, but you put it out on YouTube. So I figured it would be okay to talk about it. And if you want to come and just share what you shared, you are welcome. But if you don't, that's okay. Salute for the super chat. Salute for being over here. But something you said on last night's midnight stream over on Gaston's World that bothered me and sat with me for such a long time, where I was just like, okay, God, if there's something there about choices was in my spirit all day. And I had been thinking about my own choices and choices that I regret and choices that I didn't think I made. Well, Wealth Engineering is there. Yay. I've been talking about you all stream. When I opened, I said there was something that just pricked my spirit when you said you had made choices and you didn't think you were making good choices. And you look back at your choices and you didn't think you were making. I was like, whoa, that's a deep statement, bro. So I just said to myself, I really wanted to just kind of be, just in both lanes. Y'all know I like the legal lane. I like the personal development lane. I like it. I'm not going to long stroke you. Thank you for the gift. Let's bring him into the stream. Wealth Engineering. Wagwan. You have a good sense of humor too. You know that, right? I love it. How are you?
I try to. Thank you very much. How are you doing?
From Montreal.
Yes.
Should I say, how do you say? I only know bonsoir. Is that French?
Yes, that is. You're doing it very well.
Bonsoir. Y'all didn't know that. That's for my Haitian brothers and sisters that hear South for bonsoir tout monde. Wagwan.
Yes, that's perfect.
I know a little. Perfect. We just know enough for a greeting. How are you today? Wealth Engineering.
Yes, very good. Thank you. How are you doing?
Excited that you're here, my brother. Like I said, I added you in the subject line in the title just to see if you might come, because I knew I was going to talk about you, because I don't want to talk about you behind your back, but I didn't know.
No worries. Shout out to Friendsgiving. I was I just got here in my office for the night, and then I'm just catching up, right? So, and then she's like,
Oh,
"Yeah, make sure you say hi to Suzette." I'm like, "All right, all right."
okay,
Salute.
good. Look at that.
Yeah.
Friendsgiving making the contact. Thank
Yes, yes,
you.
yes. She's
So
very
I've
helpful.
been talking about you in a good way. First of all, congratulations on getting, how long have you been monetized? Am I like late with it? Or I think you said on the stream you had recently become monetized.
Yeah, yeah. I recently, basically, like last week, basically, not that long
Oh,
ago. Yeah, I got
you
monetized last
last
week,
week, Uncle
pretty
Stu
much.
today.
Yep.
Congrats.
Thank you
We
very much.
moving, man. We moving. So congratulations. What, of course, you guys see his name, Wealth Engineering. What, pray tell, can you tell the people what your channel is about, please?
Yes, I create content to motivate millennials to increase their net worth, retire early, and build generational wealth. This is a conversation that I wish all this content that I'm creating is all the conversation that I wish I had with my parents, with my peers about wealth. Because in my culture, we enforce a lot of academic knowledge, but no knowledge about wealth at all. So I'm trying to create content to really motivate people and embark into financial education and to retire early. So that's my contents resolving about, and
Get in the
how,
bag.
yeah, and we talk about real estate, business, stocks, and crypto. And I love cryptocurrencies, so there is a
Okay.
slight focus towards crypto.
Awesome. So all the ways in which you can build financial foundation, I believe, is where you are in your content. Can you read
Exactly.
this for me?
Salut, mon frère.
What does that mean?
It's
Salut, mon
salute, my
frère.
brother.
Okay, okay. I'm getting my little lessons in. Thank you, Tolu. But yes, wealth engineering. There was something that you said. Like I said, when you come on, first of all, he was on Gaston's World picking at his nails. Can I just put that in there too? He
Oh,
was
you
telling
saw that
Gaston.
part?
Yes, I watched it this morning. I was listening to it, and he was talking about Gaston. Your nails too long. You need to cut them. Now I bite my nails. I had to get out of that habit. But you were like, "Why you got that all that white over on your nail?" And I was like, "Can you get off the man nails?" And then y'all got into the cologne. Shout out to Before the Billions. Before the Billions got the best cologne
Yep.
collection like ever. If he's watching, shout out to Before the Billions. I was just intrigued. Again, listening to the guys talk is just like being a fly on the wall. So I
Yep.
was like listening to y'all. I was like, oh, okay, they talking about cologne. What kind of cologne you got? What kind of cologne you got? What you do with it? And it
Yeah.
surprised me to say, now that you was married, you start wearing cologne.
Pretty much. Well, not before I got married. Just well, I always had cologne for like a special occasion, right? Like a wedding.
Is that a
Uh,
Canadian thing? I want my
no,
man.
I don't know. Maybe it's an Asian thing or something.
I'm
But
like, why y'all
yeah,
stop
but I mean,
wearing
I don't smell
cologne?
bad. I always,
Me not say you
shower.
smell bad, brother. Me not say you smell bad, but I'm just saying, you want to hug and smell that. You want to.
Yeah,
You
me, I'm
just
a guy.
saying.
I Everything I do, it's for a purpose. So if I'm wearing cologne, for example, it's for a date, right? Like it's
Oh,
like
so
a
it
and
was. Don't
yeah,
take it for granted now. You better put some. You better spray something on. make
yeah, yeah. But hey,
make
you
you
never
know
know.
these days these boys be smelling good. You better come through with.
Hey, you never know. I might go back to the field again. You never know.
You
We'll see.
need to. I was like, what is he talking about? He doesn't wear it. But big up wonderful 34. Nola is in the building. I love it. So when you said, yeah, they said time to mask up anger. Thank you, RM. Inside joke if you've seen that movie. But anyway, so when you said I've looked back at my choices and I don't think I've made good choices, it hurt my spirit. I was really like, I wasn't even there and I was into the replay and it really got to me. What did you mean when you said that? Did you
Yeah,
really
I didn't
mean
have
that?
time to really elaborate on that because I was about to leave when I said that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, lately I've been really thinking about all the choices I've made in the last since I was 19 all the way to 32, 33. I was thinking of all the choices I've made, and since basically the age of 29 to 30, every choice I've made, I realized that, oh, that was wrong. Oh, that was wrong. Oh, that was wrong. And then now I'm basically wrapping around the last big choice that I've made, and I'm kind of like getting ready to close that and starting a new chapter in my life right now. So that's where
So
I'm at
tell
right
me.
now. But before we start, I'm
Mm-hmm.
very deep into personal development as well.
Okay.
Like
So you man
I'm
after my own
almost
heart.
I'm
Good.
almost like a mad scientist, but I don't see it as like my life is in shambles. Like I see it as a learning curve, but I
Yeah.
find it very interesting. Like things that you were so sure about when you were young, and then
Mhm.
like it's completely opposites 10 years later. And yeah, that's I'm kind of like going through it, accepting it. That's the hardest part. It's accepting it, embracing it, and then reflect back on it to realize, you know what? Yes. And maybe and project my current state right now, and 10 years from now, how am I going to feel about what I'm currently believing now? So it's really like
You sound like me, bro. I love it. You're
yeah, I
like
don't know if it's a
you're doing
middle
no, no, no. It makes perfect sense to me
I don't know
because
if it's a
he's
quarter. I don't know if it's a middle age crisis or
yeah, quarter
something, but
life crisis. They got middle age crisis. They got everything. Zennial
yeah,
crisis.
yeah. But that's what I've been going through, and
Mm.
the decision I was thinking last night when I said that specifically was
Uh-huh.
who I decide to marry.
Mm.
Yeah, I and again on paper she's a unicorn. That's
How
the hard
so?
part.
How so?
She saved my life twice.
What that
Um,
mean? What that mean? You can't just be saying stuff like that. What that mean?
Well, she cared a lot about me. For example, the last time she saved my life was this last September. I had a CV-19. I was
Mhm.
alone in a house because I had to isolate from me and my son. I
Mhm.
mean, my son and her. And
Mhm.
then, but she kept checking on me all the time. But even though I instructed her not to scare my parents,
Stay away. No.
yeah, exactly, not to scare my parents. It's okay. It's going to be all fine. But her instinct somehow just detected something was wrong, and she called the ambulance. For her it was very hard to do because I instructed her and she knew I would be very mad at it, but she
Note
called
the
the
note
ambulance.
the emphasis on I instructed my wife what to do, and she went against me. But thank God she did. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
yes she did,
So
because
wow.
actually in my city for CV-19 the
Yeah.
ambulance try as hard as possible not to bring people in the
To the
hospital.
hospital.
They
Wow.
got to me 2 minutes later, they're like, this guy needs to go like straight to the hospital. And it turns out that if I had slept that night at my in my bed, I wouldn't be able to wake up the next day. I could have fallen into a coma and even like possibly die
Oh
from not having
my.
enough oxygen into my brain. So yeah,
Boy.
from that perspective, yeah, that was the
Boy.
most recent time she saved me, and she saved me some other time too. But
Yeah, just I don't want to pause you, but I thank you for the super chat. The work from home wife of Atlanta. Go Gators. Thank you for sharing your bright light. Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet. Thank you for showing some love. I appreciate you. But going to I don't want to take him off of the subject too quickly, but I'm gonna leave it up there. Thank you very much. So wealth engineering, you said she saved your life a second time. When was that?
yeah, the second time was a bit harder. Actually, you might appreciate that as someone who's into personal development. Um, turns I was getting married. I was very excited about getting married. My whole life, I was thinking about that day, right? And then, I think 4 months prior I got married, it turns out I went into a depression. That depression triggered a manic episode. So I learned that I was bipolar, I was bipolar. I had a manic episode. She didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on, but I was acting, for lack of a better word, crazy.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so she actually had to leave the house for her own safety. And even then, she made sure that everything was taken care of, calling the ambulance, instructing them that hey, this guy is even
Yes,
if he's acting crazy, don't like
yes. Don't do anything
don't
to him.
shoot him,
Mm-hmm.
because that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what happened. The police
Mm-hmm.
broke into my house and then they tased me, sedate me, and but at least they didn't shoot me to death. But
Jesus. Oh
yeah,
my.
but
So
yeah,
listen, listen what I'm hearing. I ain't in your business. I'm not in your household, but this is a good woman.
I
This is a good woman. I'm not saying that y'all belong together. God, I don't know any of that.
this is the hardest part.
I'm like, this is a good woman.
This is the hardest part of all this, because
Mm.
throughout the whole time I was my life really started changing around when I was in 2019, like
Mm-hmm.
2016, right? 2016, I started walking back on all the decision I've made, especially on the professional side. Like I became an engineer. I was an electrical engineer, and then I
Mm-hmm.
started business towards 2016, 17. So around that time, I had a lot of change happen, right? But I guess the now I'm at a point where I'm evaluating everything, and I have to make a decision, and it's a hard one because like I said, on paper she's a unicorn. On paper she is a unicorn. Watch out! Yeah, I think you're on mute. I think you're on mute. Hello.
Sorry, I'm on mute because I'm reading the chat, and now I have to react because I'm reading the chat. Oh, to chef's up, talk about not judging, but you can save lives and still be left. You're not laughing. This is people's lives. I'm not laughing. This is people's lives, but it's him making a joke. Big up to Mr.
I
Real Estate.
look. I
Mr. Real
trust
Estate.
me. Trust me. It's. I'm still coming to term with it too. I'm in the
Oh, my
process
heart.
right now where I'm coming to term with it. It's
Mm,
not an easy decision to do, but it's a decision that I must. I feel like I must do if I want to go to the next level,
yikes.
and that's part
Um,
of my depression too. That was the
mm,
cause of my depression because I
mm.
was grooming to be someone, then I realized
I'm
I
not
was
that
not
person.
meant to be that person.
Wow.
And from grooming to be that person, I chose certain qualities in a wife,
Mm-hmm.
certain characteristic, which I realized later is not a direct match with me, doesn't match
Right.
with my ambitions. And
Right.
the reason why I wasn't pushing for my ambition, that was the whole reason of my depression. The first depression that almost
Mm.
deleted my life,
So
right?
when you said when you had that first depression, that was right before your wedding, though. You said that.
Exactly.
So
So
you
what
knew from before you started to walk down that aisle, this wasn't gonna work.
No, but the thing is, it has nothing to do with the wedding back then. So what
Okay.
happened
Okay. Okay.
was
Okay. Sorry.
2013.
Yeah.
So let me give you a summary. You'll understand. I spent 3 years in college to study to be a technician, 4 years in university to study to become electrical engineers, and then I basically started working. So within 5 years of working in the electrical engineer field, I got laid off twice. All right. And the first time I got laid off, it took me 14 months before I find my next jobs. So the
Oh.
time I was getting married was lead I proposed to her, a month later I got laid off. And then
Oh.
I had this whole plan. I mean, Asian weddings are huge,
Oh
right?
yeah. It's
Like
big. It's
this
big.
is where you bring all the family. It's like
And you show
everyone is.
off with the money. It's like Africans. It's like, hey, we
Oh,
gonna show you what we got.
let me try to share with you my one of the pictures
Oh,
that
so I get
I'm
it. So
still
you
I'm
had a
still
whole
proud of that picture.
confluence. Yeah, sorry to mean that we're talking. I was just saying. So it wasn't in an abstract kind of way. It wasn't in its own thing, in its own a vacuum, I should say. It was you had lost your job. You had been newly engaged. You're supposed to have this wedding. You're supposed to start this life. Can't find a job. I get it. So depression definitely could creep in. I can see it. So I understand
Yeah,
the circumstances better. Yeah.
but then there is an added fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because first, all that created the depression, and then I couldn't find a job in my field, and I spent a long time trying to look for a job in my field. Then I started a business where I was selling online products that they were coffee. I was selling online products that were coffee. And as a bipolar, drinking coffee is like the second, pretty much the worst thing you can do. And 30 days
Oh.
later, I started that business. I end
Mm.
up in the hospital for a manic episode.
Okay.
So
Understood. Understood. There's a lot there. So this story, I'm sure that's why I never try to judge people from just the surface level because anytime you see it, like there's so much more beneath the
mm,
surface. So thank you for being vulnerable enough to share. Because one thing, Gaston's World was up here earlier, and I was like, did that strike you the way it struck me? Because I hadn't told him I was going to discuss it, and I was like, Gaston, come up here. So he was like, you know what? I have to analyze it a little bit more. He's like, I heard it when he said it that he felt like he had made so many mistakes and that he didn't make good choices. And I refuse to believe that, but I like the fact that you also expounded like, okay, my life is not crazy. My life is not in the shambles. It's just that looking back, I wish I had, I guess, more wisdom
mm,
and the strength to say, you know, this is not the life I want to live. And I think what you just described reminds me of that book and the movie Eat, Pray, Love. I don't know if you guys have ever read it, but Eat, Pray, Love. This woman was set up to marry her like college sweetheart. She was like almost like a Southern belle, being reared to be like a stay-at-home mom, good husband, didn't have to work, took home, care of the family. And she woke up and she was just like, this is not the life I wanted to live. And she was like 29, 30. And people are like, you have the idyllic American lifestyle that people are saying they want. You have the good man, good, solid, loyal, breadwinner, protector, all those wonderful qualities. You have the two cute kids that are like in private school and all that. And then she woke up one day and she was just like, this is not what I want. And it led her on a journey. She went over into Asia, backpacking and all this stuff. And then she wrote, I mean, it's a award-winning multi-million dollar movie. And it was literally, she blew up her life, and people were frightened that this could be. And I think, there are people that go, hey, oh, that's you, wealth and engineering number 2. Okay, I got it. So this is where I
Number
could
two.
get the add it.
Look at that.
Oh, this is the
So
Dapper Don.
this
Yes.
is what I had in mind all along, right? This exact picture. I dream of this picture since I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
So, and then a month later, after I proposed, I got laid off. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna like not making this happen. So I did everything I could to make this happen. Even after the manic episode, it still happened. So I'm still proud of actually be able to do that. So,
He was
but that
like, I lived the dream. Even though I was in mental health turmoil, I
oh
got
yeah,
my pose up in front of that white, was it a Mercedes?
yeah.
Woo!
So
Clean.
it's actually an inside joke. My last name is Mercy Dat. It's
Oh.
an inside joke in my family that we drive Mercedes. So it's like,
Oh, so everything came to a head and then life blew up. Life
yeah,
changed. The
yeah,
job
yeah.
loss, the this, the that, and then realizing I married a woman that is not necessarily a good fit for me. Jesus.
But I want to actually chime in, and I think you'll appreciate more because
Sure.
it's a huge part on my growth. Back then, I didn't know that. That's the thing. If you had put me back like 10, 15 years ago when I met
Mm-hmm.
my girlfriend who became my wife, I would have chose her. I would have made the same decision back then, right? Because
Got
I
it.
didn't know. If when I was looking back at it, out of every girl I've met in that time, she was the one to marry. So you see what I'm saying? It's not like I made the bad choice on who I decided to marry based on the time. It's just that now knowing more about myself and what I want, looking back at it, I should have made a different decision. That's the way I see it. But I forgive myself for making that decision because I didn't know it back then. And it's really throughout the journey that I realized, oh, okay, on some maybe the life that my mom always preached to me is not necessarily the life that I was born to live.
I hear you. And
And
I think that's a big epiphany,
yes,
forgiving oneself. Because
yes,
back then you didn't know better. Help us all, God.
yeah,
Forgiving oneself. I love this, Mr. Realist saying, well, go on. He says, even a unicorn has a sharp horn. If that horn wants, no matter how magical it is, it can stab you through the heart. Oh my God, that's so deep. Oh my God, Mr. Realist saying, I don't
yep.
even know what to say. That
Oh,
hurt
I
me just
agree.
reading it. I said, oh my God.
I agree.
But it's a very valid point. I hear you.
Yes,
It's beautiful on paper, and I love the fact that he says if he went back then and was the same person back then, he would have made the same selection. So I
yes,
agree with you because then I say it's not a mistake, so to speak, because you were
exactly.
who you
It's
were.
it,
You
from
only
look
had the life experience you had. You only had the wisdom that you had then. Now you can
exactly.
appreciate as a grown man 10, 15, 20 years later. Shoot, I should have done this or I should have done that. Well, you can't look at yourself and help all of us for the forgiveness aspect, in the forgiveness aspect to look back and say, no, I see you, Queen Regina in the back. Okay, I'm coming, sis. To make it, okay to say, I forgive that younger self.
Yeah.
I could not have made a better decision. That's who I was from my parents, from my culture, from hello. Tell me what I want. Jean Luckner Derival. What is he saying? Salute à
Salut à
toi.
toi, mon frère. Yeah,
Salute my
salute.
brother.
Yeah, salute my brother again. Yeah.
Frère is brother.
Yeah,
Frère.
frère. Yeah.
Say it again.
Frère.
Frère.
Yeah.
Frère. I got it. I
Frère.
got it. I'm getting it though. I'm not from
One,
Montreal,
one
but I'm
last thing
getting it.
before I go. I know you said you have someone on the back, but
No, no, no. You can hang. Can you hang out for a little bit?
yeah, I just want to mention one last thing. One last thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So the first time I had my depression just before my wedding, right? I looking back at it, I know exactly why it happened. It
Mhm.
happened because that vision that I had of my life, I couldn't achieve it, and I was dependent on a job to achieve it. That's
Ah.
that's that's basically what happens. I have the need of control and not control my destiny, and it's so easy that I put so much hard work in my job, so much passion and dedication for it to just disappear like that.
My
And that
God.
didn't sit well. And I didn't want to admit it back then. And then
Yeah.
like 14 months later, it just built up, right?
Mhm.
Now, the second time I got laid off was in 2016.
Mhm.
2016, I got laid off again, and I saw all the signs that I was going to get laid off. I saw it from a mile away, and it happened exactly as I saw it. And then I realized, you know what? I'm going to try a different path, a path of not necessarily going to find another job, but a path, and that led me to entrepreneurship, business, investing, and all that, and wealth engineered. That's how wealth engineering got created. But from finding that path, I actually found my life purpose, trying to understand what happened to me and why I was keep getting into depression. And I realized it's because that road is that I was trying to live, that the wife, the house, the picket fence, the stable jobs. It was just not the life for me. It was just not the life for me, and that life was leading me to a depression. I had so many dreams that I wanted to do, and I wanted to at least try them before I die. And the further I go on that path, the less possible the dream was likely to happen. And it got to a point now where I'm like, I only have a small margin to make it happen, and if I don't correct it now, I'll never be able to correct it. And that's where I'm at right now, and that's what I'm saying. Looking back at it, even marrying the unicorn, which I
Mhm.
still believe is a unicorn, was
Yeah.
not necessarily the best choice for me.
Now, looking at it now, this is so deep.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Ode to Chef says, if you are not in a good state, and again, we started the conversation talking about Tiffany Haddish and her recent troubles in her personal life. If you are not in a good mental state, you shouldn't make rash decisions. Still, seek counseling to plan out your thought process. I wish
Mm.
you all well. No, this is real. And thank you. Moments by Mickey Red. Thanks for passing through, sis. I see you. Thank you. Enjoying the content before the billion. This is relatable. This is what we're talking about, guys. I think again, Tiffany Haddish is the case study for tonight, but she ain't the only one that's been here.
Mm.
She ain't the only one who has seen, the beauty of life kind of turn into a nightmare when under these stresses, when it's under mental health stress, when
Mm.
there's isolation, when there's like depression, as you talked about, the hopes and expectations dash, when people feel like they're not living up to expectation. That's a heavy, I've had that. That's a heavy weight when you
Yeah.
feel like, damn, I'm supposed to be an engineer and I can't find no job. It's been 14 months and I'm supposed to have a wife, but I got the Beamer picture though, but I got the Mercedes picture
Oh,
though.
at least I got that.
He's like, I dreamt about this from I was a kid.
Oh man.
Imagine. And at least we did that. But yeah, foreign families are real, real, real. Let's bring up Queen Regina adding, what's up, Queen Regina? How are you are a little bit blurry. How are
I'm
you?
a little bit blurry.
It's okay. What's up? Nice to
Okay.
see you. How you
Nice
doing?
to see you as well. I am doing wonderful. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Thanks for always being so active in the chat. Sandy W just joined. Good evening and welcome. So tell
Mhm.
us about yourself or what your thoughts are when it comes to tonight's discussion.
Well, I'm from Atlanta, and so
Yes.
I was in my bedroom watching YouTube, and the notices of her arrest started popping up, and it said DUI in Atlanta because Peachtree is not too far from where I live. And I was like, DUI? Um, Friday night traffic in Atlanta, rush hour,
Mm-hmm.
and it was inclement weather. I just couldn't understand why she didn't have Uber.
Hello.
I just
Somebody
didn't
call Tiffany Haddish
understand
an
it.
Uber. Somebody, like, that's what I'm saying. She ain't got no support. Sis, something is missing.
Right.
Something is missing. If the decision was
Yeah.
like, no, I'll get in the car and nobody can tell you no nothing, or nobody was
Mhm.
looking out. That's so scary. But sorry, keep going. Sorry.
And r- um and it wasn't too far from where I live where Rayshard Brooks had died, and he was sleeping in his car at the Wendy's when someone called and said he was asleep, and the police came and was going to give him the sobriety test, and he was shot. And she could have risked that, scenario, being, shoot first, ask questions later, because she was asleep,
Absolutely. Yes.
and that was the call in, and then she started back driving. I just don't understand, number one, no Uber or no driver, given the ability and the finances to have a driver and Uber, so I just know,
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a
you
great
know,
point, P.
because
Regina.
I am a nurse, and when I used to drink, I used to take Uber because I have something to lose. And I will always, think, in the back of my mind, especially in Atlanta, everything is near, and you don't want to deal with. You have to pay to park everywhere you go anyway. So, and like I said, I can't lose my nursing license. You can't lose your, lawyer license. So I would get an Uber. I didn't understand it, but because she's one of my kind of like baby actresses that I always kind of like follow her life and always rooting for her, it did hurt me, that this happened to her.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I always look at people's pain first. I don't look at it in terms
Mhm.
of like, oh, look at her, judgment, whatever. No, when I saw it, I was like, this
No.
woman needs somebody in her corner right now. When
Mhm.
all this going on, the breakup with the boyfriend, the dog died,
Mhm.
the loss about Saget, she said her showbiz dad, her mentor, her
Mhm.
father figure, and now this. It is now the most pivotal time. And again,
Right.
not to judge her. This is not what this
Right.
show is about, but a great observation, y'all. If you are in this type of mental stress and mental state of, restlessness or
Mhm.
imbalance in any way, you can't make rash decisions like old Chef says, and you can't definitely drive in those things. You smoke. If you
Right.
smoke, and again, that's an allegation. That's what she's being charged
I
with. There's
thought it was drunk.
no, they said DUI. Check the box of marijuana. That's what I saw in
Oh,
mine.
okay. I'm
So it
sorry.
wasn't
I didn't.
for drinking, it was for
Okay.
marijuana under the influence. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
because
what I
now
saw
in
online.
Atlanta it must be a lot of marijuana because in Atlanta, the
Yeah,
city, there's a
yeah,
certain amount of marijuana
that
you
you
can
could
have
have. But
legally,
yeah, but this was
not driving.
intoxicated
Yeah,
driving.
okay.
So
Okay.
this is you
Wow.
falling asleep at the light, and you people on the road like, that person is asleep. Something that needs to be done.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is
they
dangerous.
did call. She was
Yes,
asleep.
there was a phone call made to 911.
Yes.
Observer, passerby saw her or
Yes.
allegedly saw her in her car sleep at a red light, call for help. They sent police. Police
Yes.
followed her, and as she was turning into a residence, then stopped her and asked her if she would take the field sobriety test. She denied it. She said they said she was very nice and cooperative, but
Mhm.
she refused the field sobriety. I don't want to say that was a smart thing to do, but it could have been, depending on if she know herself and what she was.
Right, right,
But so she said no. Ended up posting. It was like $6,000 bond the
right.
following day. So yeah, it was very interesting to see the kind of again personal life arc of events that she was
Right.
experiencing, and how it
Mhm.
might have impacted what you got, this last few days from her, and unfortunately this arrest.
Mhm.
So very good observation. Call a Uber. Call a
Yeah,
Uber.
call it Uber. And as another observation,
Yes, go ahead.
this is not her home state. There's no way I'm
Yes.
driving. I drive with a GPS. It's night. It's inclement weather. I'm not a
Exactly.
night driver. And GPS will take you, in the wrong
Right
direction
there.
sometimes if you don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
So it's just a risk.
Yes.
And then
So much.
marijuana, you
Mm-hmm.
have to know your own city. Like
You got that
when I
good,
was
good.
your age, drink and drive, I was familiar.
You knew your parts of town where you could go.
I was familiar with it was
It,
a 3 minute drive. I'm
exactly.
not telling you all to do this. This is when I was younger.
Yeah, exactly.
I was familiar with my neighborhood
Yeah,
and, the cops. This is not
exactly.
her, city.
Yeah, no, I see it. All the chat is saying the same thing. Get
Yeah.
drunk at home or go, don't
Yeah.
go anywhere.
Mhm.
They talking about there's a Wendy's in the downtown before the billions. Is
Yeah.
saying, yeah, this is thank you, RM. Again, a compassionate view of what had
Mhm.
happened, what allegedly happened. Yes, RM, I see you playing Russian roulette with your life, and not only life for her, livelihood. She is
Yes.
one of the most marketable figures, or this might be compromised now, was one of the most marketable black women, but period,
Yes.
figures in Hollywood, could get that good corporate money. So now this is impacting now your income stream and all the, you know what I'm saying? Like it's that hurts me
Mhm.
because I'm like, she was there shooting a movie. She's in Atlanta in that area, Peachtree
And
City.
Tyler Perry, was she at Tyler Perry Studios?
I don't know if Disney is using Tyler Perry,
Okay.
but I know they say she
Okay.
was in town to shoot a Disney movie. So could have
Okay.
been, could have been.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, none of this, like again, the snowball effect of one bad choice when one is vulnerable is just, it's heartbreaking to hear.
Mhm.
So cool. Any other
Yeah.
observations? Thank you, Queen Regina. You
Well, yeah.
rolling.
They say comedians are very depressed individuals.
This has been said. This has
Mhm.
been said. Oh, Robin Williams comes to mind. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of them, they say they struggle deeply.
Mhm.
Deeply. Yeah, you know what? That's a very
Yes.
interesting thought. That's a
Mhm.
very interesting
Yeah.
thought.
So it
They
could be a
struggle
cry
too.
for help, you
Yeah.
know.
Could be very well.
Yeah.
And I think so. And I think you'll be my last caller, you guys. I'm going to close it
Okay.
back. But such good insight, Queen Regina, for the win. I love it
Thank
because
you.
there's so much there. Like I said, we are just talking in an observational, not from a legal standpoint, but
Mhm.
observationally, some of the questions we are all having, like, why did you
Yes.
do this? Who
Yes.
was there with you? If you ain't got one homegirl to say, girl, let me drive you, this is a problem, right? So it could have been a solo, recreational, who knows? But it's still bears asking
Yes.
why, and then we
Yes.
got to get to the bottom of the why. So I appreciate you, Queen Regina.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're
Thanks for
welcome.
coming up.
You're
Always a
welcome.
supporter, always in the chat, nice and busy, representing, knows these parts. Are you familiar with Peachtree City? Is it just like
Oh,
Link said, Link
yes.
said,
Oh,
like
yes. And I
not many of
wouldn't,
us?
with me, I'm an older and nervous driver, and Atlanta is not the best place to drive because it's congestive traffic.
Yes.
And I just wouldn't risk it out there on a Friday night. And
Mm-mm,
so,
mm-mm.
yes, I'm very familiar. It's scary for me to
No,
drive in
we didn't do
Atlanta.
it. And you see my boy, Mr. Real Estate, sneaking in when I'm like, okay, let's wrap up. He like, nope, I'm gonna come through and get you. Mr. Real
So
Estate will
it
be back
was
this Thursday. But
you know,
yes,
I love
mhm,
your content. You're one of
thank
my
you.
favorites YouTubers. So thank
Thank
you.
you. I
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
coming up, Queen Regina.
Okay.
Finishing us off on the semi finishing it off. Mr. Real Estate will help us bring all of this now
Okay.
to a wonderful denouement. Since I'm getting my
Mm.
French in, but Queen Regina from ATL, thank you for your insights and for coming up and
Mhm.
being a part of the show tonight. Appreciate you,
You're
sis,
welcome.
and
I
you're welcome back
appreciate you.
anytime. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you so
Mhm.
much. Very good points.
Bye-bye.
Very, very good points. Thank you. So, Mr. Real Estate, I wanted to get back to Mr. Wealth Engineering because Mr. Real Estate, we're going to have all Thursday to talk, me and you. But Mr. Real Estate is here. I want to give him a chance to share his thoughts. Y'all hit the like button, show some love. Again, I'm trying something different. I wanted to incorporate a bit of a legal topic today, not just purely personal development and self awareness, but there were so many pieces of the self awareness discussion that fit right into her story, right? So I wanted to give Wealth Engineering as I opened up talking about your story on Gaston's World. They are popping over there with the male discussions, and Wealth Engineering gave such an interesting take on what he thought were mistakes and choices he has made. And he is yet still here, just expounded a little bit about what he meant. He was on Gaston's World. He said he didn't get a chance to fully explain, but he's explaining here now what he means when he felt that many of his choices after the age of 19 weren't good choices. I was like, how could this be? But he has acknowledged that it's not about who he is now. He forgives his younger self because that's the same choice he would probably make again at that age and stage, knowing what he knew then. So I think a lot of us can relate to that. And I think we can also learn that we must forgive that younger self. You did not know better. You could not have done better. Even though now you've grown 10, 15, 20 years later, now you know better. So you want to do better. And you're looking back and saying, but that was a poor choice. But well, you didn't think of it then, and it probably wasn't then. So it's an interesting perspective to be able to look back without judgment of oneself and objectively see, goodness, this probably was not going to serve me in the long run. But at that age, I had no clue it wasn't going to serve me in the long run. So there's some deep self-reflection going on here. If you're liking this, y'all hit the like button. If you're liking, support the stream. Y'all see the cash app. Show some love. Thanks to all my super chatters. Thank you so much. Obviously we're doing this for love, but we're also doing it because hopefully it's bringing something and giving something to our community that can uplift, educate, and make you see yourself through a different lens. So as we're doing this work, I appreciate your support. And then y'all know the Patreon is live. Great discussions like this, office hours every couple of weeks. And we've been having some good deep dive discussions, including one last Saturday. So if you are interested in this type of convo, come on through. Come see me over at the Patreon. But Mr. Real Estate will be my guest Thursday, Mr. Real Estate. So don't give away all the juice for Thursday. But what do you have to say about this convo? I saw you popped in a little later. What's going on, sir? You can unmute when you're ready.
So she knows French too. Ooh la la.
I'm
Oui,
trying.
oui.
They told me I
The
was Jamaican.
only,
I was like, whatever. I'm gonna do me.
unfortunately, the only real French word I know is ménage à trois, and I learned that from pop culture. So I think I need to brush up on my French as well.
We need to get you a couple more words. We need you to get you a couple more words. But how are you?
And
Introduce yourself to the people real quick for those who don't know who you are.
hey, my name's Mr. Real Estate. I'm a very new content creator here in these YouTube streets. This is week number 2 for me. So,
Woo!
look forward to publishing some more content. I mostly cover, real estate, business, personal development, and I tie it to news and current events because I'm a firm
Cool.
believer that life is business and business is life.
Awesome. And we're going to have a good conversation, Mr. Real Estate. Thursday, he will be my special guest. It's a brand new content creator. I'm going to pick his brain a little bit on the professional development side and maybe a little bit on the relationship side. Y'all got to tune in. We haven't set a time, actually. We need to set a time for Thursday. But,
I
I'll
sent you
talk
an
to you
email.
offline. Yeah, that part.
We
You
good.
have to set a time, and I'll talk to you offline after this show. But what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on today's conversation from what you've heard?
Yeah, well, from what I'm understanding, not just from a personal, but also a business perspective, I mean, if we start in the realm of business, let's say you are the founder. The founder still has a board of directors. So if you don't have people around you that have a good, solid, pure intention and a vested interest in achieving the same goals as you, then although you've got that quote unquote support system around, you're going to be flawed from the jump. And when we relate that to pop culture and when we look at these quote unquote celebrities, I mean, this happens on both opposite ends of the spectrum. On the far right, we've got these handlers of artists that will literally exert too much control and push them to the edge. Look at Dave Chappelle and how he fled to Africa, even though he was being offered how much money? He had the wrong support system around him. You look at someone like Michael Jackson, for him to have a team around him that didn't tell him that sleepovers with little, what wasn't cool.
This ain't Gass's world. Hold that up. Hold that up.
Hey, and that's
Good
why
point
I'm
taken.
talking between the lines. And if you even look at the demise of him,
Yeah.
his demise was under the watchful eye of a doctor, of a professional, someone in his team. So I mean, if we have the wrong people in our camp, and if they're overexerting their will, that can lead to our early demise. And then on the flip side, we look at Tiffany Haddish, and if we don't have a team that's looking out for us, I mean, I'm 27, I'm a millennial, and I can tell you it is a weird new phenomenon where all of our rappers, all of our idols are dying at a very young age. We look at Pop Smoke, we look at Young Dolph. Why is nobody telling them hire armed security? Be in bulletproof vehicles. You're literally a target. You have a $10 million, $50 million deal. And if we talk about the handlers overexerting control, we also have people with a vested corporate interest in them not taking care of their investment. And if these are people with multi-million dollars, then what's the lesson to be learned? It is up to you. It is up to you, the individual, to have your best interests at heart. Make sure that if you do invite a support system, you vet those people thoroughly, but ain't nobody gonna save us, whether you got 500 million or 50,000.
Nope.
We hear about what just happened with Drake, so come on.
Yeah. Oh
Ain't
man.
nobody gonna help you.
No, you're right, and I'm thanking you for the super chat, Miss Ebony. Thank you. No comment, just love. Always been here day one in the building. Thank you, Ebony. Don't mean to break your train of thought, Mr. Real Estate, but I just wanted to acknowledge her for showing some love on tonight's stream. Since y'all, I want to know if you want me to do more legal stuff, legal topics and stuff during a week or whatnot. We're bringing it back in February. But as you were saying, Mr. Real Estate, the team around you, whether that's family, friends, or actual professional associates, as you likened it to, the board of directors for you, the CEO, You gotta have solid people. It cannot be these industry people that came, yesterday, that only have the bottom line, their bottom line, as their, what should I say, compass. It's not. It's not. Oh, you seen the TLA? You ain't see the TLA though. It as the compass.
Oh, there you go. Hit it. It's all
It's
about the
not.
flick of the wrist.
You can't listen. Let me get to the bottom of this. I don't want that to be what people are taking from it. But what I mean is her crew. We don't know about her crew, but if that is something that she needs to evaluate, then rightfully so. Because anyone who is driving by themselves, allegedly under the influence, where you are falling asleep at a red light in public in ATL in not your city, not where you from, there was
Ooh.
a lack of layer of just what you're talking about. The board of directors is not there. It is a
If
lack of
I'm
layer
gonna go to
protection.
ATL and I ain't from there, shoot, I'm
No,
about
that's
to
what
be
happened
sober
with
as a
rest in peace
gopher.
King Von and them. No,
Yeah, I gotta be
no,
on
we don't.
point. ATL? What?
No,
Lacking in ATL?
yes,
You might
by
as well have
yourself.
said that you're going to South Side of Chicago to go roll around and get a DUI and get stopped by police and hope that you're not on the news the next day. Come
Exactly,
on.
in a particularly very, as they said, not a diverse part of town. Lynx has said it. Queen Regina said it. She was like, "I wouldn't be out there by myself. You would stick out like a sore thumb." And that, like, it would just be. It's just a bad look. All like Uber would be just the most simplest of solutions, but it's frightening that no one on her team, as you've pointed out, or was there a team, or who's on the team, is a very good question. I
Hmm.
think, because if
And
you're not
just a moment
surrounded.
ago,
Yes, go ahead,
mhm.
sir.
No, just a moment ago, I brought up Drake, and some would be like, "Wait, how's that related?" But look at what Drake's doing. He is taking responsibility now. He is carrying around a little bit of Tabasco sauce in his Gucci bag because guess what? He
Ah,
relied on his team, and his team failed him. Drake has a baby out of wedlock. He tried to hide from the world, and on that
no.
day that he was with that woman, I bet you he asked somebody on his team, "Hey, I'm out of hot sauce. I need a re-up. Grab me some." And maybe they took too long. Maybe he told his other partner, "Hey, I need some lambskin," but they failed him. And now he's learned his lesson, and he carrying around that Tabasco with him any everywhere.
Drake, Drake, let me in my soldier boy voice. Listen, you're saying take it into your own hands. If you ain't got the right team, you gotta figure this out. You better carry some Tabasco in your back pocket. Oh my gosh, that is its own story. Not to digress too far, but okay.
Yeah.
Point taken. I can see that's why I know I need to get off soon. Point taken. That it is you're only as strong as your team. Of course, we are individuals and we have our own strengths and our own inclinations. But if you don't have, let me tell you, them truth tellers, those who agree with you, okay, great. But it's the ones that disagree with you that help you grow and help look out. So if she has, not saying this is all speculation, the
Yeah.
yes people, and we don't know, but we're just saying, for conversation's sake, if it's a yes group, if it's a yes people, if it's folks that's not even aware of where she's going at what time of night, bruh, this needs to be like a wake up call. Point well taken. Point well
I,
taken. Very good. Any
I,
other thoughts? Go ahead.
I want to provide a
Hmm.
different perspective on that topic.
Go ahead.
Again, there's many I don't know, but for those, I don't know how many people have gone through depression, but I have many times. I'm actually bipolar, so I have to find ways not to get into depression because it's a natural state where I always go to. And once you're in there, you don't care about life. You don't care about anything, and it's so weird because I when I go out of that stage, I realize my thought process was so wrong when I was in that stage because I can spend so much energy, money, time to work on something, and all of a sudden I go in that stage and I just don't care about all the work that I've done. Some of these works could have taken like a lifetime of experience, right? And it's just weird that your mental state is not healthy back then. So it's possible that she may have a good teams next to her, but even that the team would advise her that she just don't care and not listening to it and just decide to do what she feels is best, that's going to give her some level of comfort when she's in that mindset. and and, and
Point well
that is
taken.
Yeah.
also and that is also a destructive mindset because that's exactly what happened to me. What I thought was going to give me comfort was only driving me down in the deeper
More.
in the hole.
Mhm.
And,
So
and
good observation. Thank you for that. You're saying when you actually have a mental health issue, you're not thinking, well, you're not thinking like yourself. So you're saying she's might not even be, in the right mindset to pick a team or to tell them what's going on or to reveal I need help or those kind of things. That's a good observation too. I see a lot of chatter in the comments that people, we assume so much, and so we don't really know. These are all discussion points, allegations, etc. So we're not even sure, and we're not going to insinuate that any of these are factual. This is, completely just a speculative discussion, based on what we've heard and allegations that we've heard in the news. So you're
yeah.
right. You're saying if she is not well, we don't know. But if
and
she's not well, she might not be functioning in a way that says, I need help and I need others to help me. I
and
hear you.
like you said, right, prior to that happening, you could tell that there was like events or on top of events on top of events that would lead someone to basically depression. And once that happens, then yeah, your mindset can direct you in many ways. So it's only I can only see it that way because I've gone through it.
Yeah,
Like
you've
I
lived
wouldn't be
it.
able to see that if I didn't go through it at
No,
all.
you
I've got a quick
lived it.
question for wealth engineering.
Sure.
So I came in to your stream like maybe 30, 40 minutes ago. So I definitely heard you talk about the situation and with the unicorn and the cops being called and everything. But as a person who has struggled with, and I hate to say this because it's such a demonizing term, but I guess the PC term is mental health issues. But as so,
Don't
huh?
demonetize my stream. Be PC, but thank you. Go ahead.
Oh
Wait,
yeah, that term is
No, it's not. I didn't know where he was going. That's what I'm saying. Sorry,
no, no,
Mr.
no,
Real Estate.
no,
Go ahead.
no, no.
Mhm.
That is the term I wanted to use. I'm
Okay,
saying
okay.
that's the PC term, but for me, it's not PC because it's pretty stark. I mean, there's a wide range between the kind of things that you can go through. And when
yeah.
you say mental health issues, I mean, you kind of have a stigma in your mind. So that's why I shy away from that word.
Okay,
But
okay.
as someone who's been through the struggle, as I would say,
Yeah.
um, and I apologize if I just missed this and you already answered it, but what actionable steps did you take to get yourself out of the rut, or was it mostly you having a good board of directors, so to speak, that uplifted you and pushed you in the right direction?
That's actually where I wanted to lead to my story and the reason why I was sharing that. And that's why I'm very comfortable in sharing my experience. It's because I actually want people to learn from it. One day I want to write a book about that. But very good question, Mr. Real Estate. And for me, what I've done is I guess I'm very good at introspection. And funny enough, prior to that happening to me, I was looking for my life purpose. Me and my brother, we were both looking for a life purpose. Ever since I was young, I was asking myself, why am I here? Like I felt like I was giving a mission, and somehow towards birth, I forgot what that mission was, and I'm trying to remember what that mission was. So that's my whole childhood. So I always have that question, and what I realize is every time I go in depression, I just lose the will to just keep going. I have nothing to live for. And what I realize is, hey, if I do find my purpose, then I'm not just living for me, but I'm living for something bigger than me. And that is strong enough to get me out of that mental state, that deep hole, and pull me and to the light in a sort of lack of better word. But so that's what I did. And since I've been there, I've that's how I got through. I actually, the day I found my life purpose is I was very near to another manic episode. I was having like I was depressed. I knew I didn't want to go to work. I just didn't care about work. Again, I was laying on my bed, watching the time go by. I have no energy to wake up on my bed. And then at that time, I decided to figure out, okay, what should I do to find my purpose? And somehow the answer came to me. And yeah, and from that moment, I realized, okay, my purpose is to help others through my struggle, and guide them, especially in my country. I need to go to the route of entrepreneurship and be a successful entrepreneur and motivate as many people to invest and save their money so that they can have money to invest in their country. And once I realized that, because keep in mind, people in millennials in Haiti, they're whole hopeless. And once I realized that, I'm like, wow, this is a reason, this is a purpose worth dying for, right?
Mm.
And then I'm like, you know what, my life is worth more, and I need to put that energy out there and get that purpose before I die. And from that perspective, once I realized that, it was clear. I don't think I've ever been that deep in a depression ever since I found my purpose. Why? Because every time I'm down, I think of the big picture, I think of the purpose, and I somehow find the energy to get back up. And
That's so deep.
that's what
Ooh.
that's how I got through. But to be
Mm,
honest with you,
mm,
I was lucky to be able to do it on my own.
mhm,
There was no book that I could have read of that would have guided me through it, which is another reason why I want to write a book about it, which is another
mhm.
reason why I'm very comfortable sharing, I guess, my business, for lack of a better word. But it's because I want someone, maybe someone who's listening to it, or maybe someone might listen to me now and they might go through it in the next 5 years. But at least you can hear how I got through it, and maybe you can take inspiration from that.
Wow, for your boldness and for your courage, sir. I am so grateful because I think when it comes to mental health and the stigma behind people, especially people of color, saying, "Oh, she crazy," "Oh, and we don't like to talk about it. We don't like to be labeled. We don't want people to think, oh, you cuckoo for cocoa puffs and all that." It's so silly. But I'm grateful for your courage and your boldness and your ability to now be at peace. Like, this is me. This is who I am. This is what I've been through, and it will help somebody because there are a lot more like you, sir. There's a lot more like us, sir, because there are so many people that are now speaking up, thinking like Charlemagne the God and others that are not in the shadows and not secretly, like, I almost said the word, almost suffering because um, of what's going on in their minds. I saw a comment here, Miss Rilla said, I'm gonna let you chime in just a second, that this is what I preach ever since I was doing um, women's workshops in real life. Y'all don't know I've been doing self-improvement workshops for over 3 years prior to pandemic, being called to it, thinking that I was helping others. And really, like you, sir, it was fulfilling my own purpose. Because I was suffering, I knew others had to be suffering. And it gave me so much joy to have similar discussions. I just wanted to see if it would work on YouTube that I had been having in real life with mostly women. But this right here, what Moments with Mickey Red has written, actions beat your emotions. You have to, this part right here, capture your thought. I have been preaching arrest the thought. That's the way I put it. Did you know that 70% of our thinking is bad self talk? This is what is definitely so poisonous that many of us don't think, have no awareness of, and don't think we have control over. And one of the things that I've been teaching for quite some time and been trying to practice myself is to talk about how to arrest the thought. And when it comes to your mind, you have to remember two things. You are not the thought. The thought is occurring in your mind. Your mind is like an instrument. Your brain is like a computer going and processing. So you, the person you, is not the thought. We have to separate that. And the thought is occurring in that beautiful computer called our mind. So how you respond to the thought is your choice. So most of us think that the thought is us, but that the thought is happening because of us, and the thought is literally happening because of like a brain function, almost like a reflex,
Oh
right?
man.
Pardon?
Oh, I'm
Which
saying,
we're getting deep. Sorry, we're getting deep. I'm gonna go
oh,
slow. I'm
yo,
gonna go slow. So the
I
thought,
can chime in so deep on that, but
go ahead.
I'll
No,
let
no,
you
I'm
finish.
gonna
I'll let
pull
you
it because
finish.
this
Like,
this this speaks to me, because every time I do my it comes back to this self-talk. Negative self-talk is one of the biggest obstacles so many people have. And as I've just outlined, the thought is not you. The thought is happening to you or in your mind as a reflex almost of brain activity. The other part I want you to be aware of, and I'll probably talk about this on my Patreon, is that you must counteract that thought with a positive truth in like the moment. One of the things that has helped me the most is when I feel very afraid, when I feel uncertain, when I am the most insecure about a decision, about a person, about whatever I'm trying to push. I always try to counteract that thought in the moment. What I call, what she says, capture. I say arrest the thought, and I say you must counteract it in that moment with a positive truth, which is, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get the YouTube channel up. No, I am. It's going to take me 6 months. Counteract it in the moment with a positive truth, something realistic that your brain can believe, and it will start to move away from that 70%. It is very difficult to do. All of us have this negative thinking. Thank you to all the social conditioning and all the stuff that we're experiencing as human beings right now, alive at this time. But this is a very, very big issue for so many of us. Negative self-talk. I just had to go ahead and say my piece. Go ahead, sir, Mr. Wealth Engineering.
Yeah, there's some. So we could make an entire show just on
We
that
might have
alone.
to make a show on that. That might be for Patreon, but I'm this is deep. Once I got a hold of this, it helped me
Yeah.
so much. But go ahead. Go ahead
But you
with
know
your
what I appreciate? I appreciate it's kind of like many ways that lead to Rome. I appreciate
Mhm.
hearing a different perspective and how it helped you go through it. I wanted to chime in a little bit on how I was able to do it also. So
Mhm.
for me, and I like what you said about you are not your thoughts, right? That
Mhm.
was fundamental for me to understand my life purpose. And I actually break it down, finding my life purpose into three parts: knowing who you are, knowing who you are in your brain, knowing who you are in your heart, and then mixing the two, and that's where the life purpose is. So once you start realizing that, then you're like, okay, so who am I here, and then who am I here, and you realize that there is so much difference, and you're going to relate more on the person who's here, right? The person who's in the heart is your true self. That's what I believe, and based on my experience, that's what I notice. And the mind is throwing you off with so much thoughts, like you said, right? So many things are going in your mind that you may think that you're all that, but it's not true. Whereas this is constant. If you were, if you wanted to give like a philanthropist as a kid, somewhere deep in you, you're still that person. It's just that your mind is overcoming that and shutting it down. But if you find yourself, if you find that young kid that you were, you're going to realize that you're still that person, and that's going to bring you true joy. For me, one thing I noticed is the reason why I studied electrical engineering is because I felt ashamed that I had electricity in my house, whereas people all around me did not were living in darkness. So I wanted to find a way to provide light to people, and I became an electrical engineer because of that. But
Mm.
although I'm changing career and going to business, but it's still the same me, just
Same root. Ha ha ha.
it's still the same
Ha
me applying it on a different
ha.
perspective.
Wealth
Now what
engineering,
I'm
don't
doing
start
is
me.
I'm
Don't
trying
start
to
me.
not
It's
what?
the beautiful, that's just epiphany, man. That's
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah.
Bringing light to people in the physical sense because of your work, and bringing light to them now in a different sense, but it's the
Yeah.
same purpose,
But
same
throughout the
different
whole
application.
process, my thoughts were changing so much, right? But deep down, it's the same kid that wanted to give light to people. Why? Because I want to have everyone to share the joy that I'm sharing, and that
Exactly.
whenever I could do that in any way, I feel happy. So once I
Ooh.
realized that, to me, it become, oh, okay. So I have to find a way to live my life and make it a business where I can everything that I do is reinforcing me and making me more and living in my heart as opposed to living in my brain. And from that perspective, yeah, that's how I
That's
beat
good,
depression.
brother. That is good. First of
Yeah.
all, I don't want to break this because I'm like, you are saying so much truth. You are defined by who you are in your mind and who you are in your heart, and you're moving towards who you are in your heart. That is real. That is it. This is a word in and of itself that could be explored even in another. You might have to come back and be my guest, y'all. The lead attorney is in the building. Why I gotta stop? Because that's the big bro. Lead attorney is one of the bright lights. Talk about bringing light to people on YouTube. Probably the busiest man working, maybe second business to KS, but but one of the
Don't
most.
do that to him.
No, I respect him so much. He has brought together so many of us who are now in this YouTube fraternity, if you will, and I'm so grateful for him and all the knowledge that he is passing on to each one of us who's a member of his YouTube elementary, and who he allows on his program, and just for being just outstanding, person, just as a whole, an attorney, now a mentor, a coach, and he's putting out so much good material for his Patreon members. I appreciate you, brother. I'm grateful that as busy as you are, you'll still come and show some love. I was telling Gaston where I was like, yo, Gaston, that was a good big look. Lead came on your show at 2 in the morning. I watched the whole thing, Lead, and y'all was chilling on a panel of like 10 men. It was fantastic stuff. The discussion was just, woo. So I am just grateful. I always got to stop and pause and let him know how much I appreciate him. Thank you, lead attorney, for helping boost me and giving me, exposure in so many different ways, and wonderful insight into this YouTube journey. So thank you, sir. Y'all big up the lead attorney. We got so much deepness. I'm trying to get off here in about 10 minutes, but y'all still deep with it. Let's do if it's helping you, let's keep it going. I see Jessica Jones's cousin says, when I have negative thoughts, I ask myself, very good, what is the evidence of that conclusion? Yes. Great way to counteract it. What is the evidence? Yes, Mr. Longstroke himself. I've been long stroking today, TLA. I've had wonderful legal discussion. I've had mental health, and now, so much. Hey, he coming through. Okay, I see you now, bro. He will be on Mr. Real Estate, will be my guest Thursday, y'all. We can't wait to continue the conversation. I see you. So many of you guys have, yes. Oh, you should have come on CSP. I know. No, I didn't see the show until the following morning. So I told Gas, I don't know why you doing these streams. Well, like, they're so good, I guess, after midnight. But the morning after, I'm listening to you guys and I'm just smiling. I said, yo, Gaston, bro, you doing work. You're doing work, and just the gentleman just being able to speak so freely and openly, and they are so, oh my God, they're deep brothers. So I can't come up there and mess up the vibe, lead. I'm gonna like take the second seat, take a back seat, and let the men do what they doing, right? Let the men cut the mustard and understand how they think and what they have to say. But lead, I respect you so much. Thank you for coming through. Yeah, you did. Told us that. I found you through lead. See? This is a big deal for me. This is a big thank you, lead, for being just, again, the stupendous, not only YouTuber, but attorney and big brother in this space. But what you want to add? Very, very deep conversation, lead. We're talking about Tiffany Haddish, but we're also talking about what led up to not, the circumstances that surrounded her arrest, the personal struggle she was having. And all that was very public in the news. We are doing this show with an intent to learn from, not an intent to judge. So we've been discussing, what our own mental health struggles have been, how we've been able to overcome them, what we can learn from Sister Haddish and from the folks here. And Wealth Engineering, because of something I heard on Gaston's World, is here because I wanted him to kind of illumine us when he talked about choices he's made and how he's felt he is would make better choices now. Go ahead, Mr. Real Estate. You have the floor, sir. How you doing? That I see
Oh, doing well. Hey, I was driving earlier. I caught a flat, had to go to Les Schwab. So,
Oh no. Oh no, that's what
I
happened.
thank you for even allowing me to hop up without camming up.
No,
I
you're
know
good.
the rules
Now I
have
know you, so
changed.
you're good. You're good. So
No,
what
but
are your
yeah.
thoughts? Yeah.
Well, the whole reason why I asked Wealth Engineering about how he came out of that rut is because, I mean, by and large, within our community, mental health issues aren't talked about. I mean, it's something that's, I mean, if you told the average person that you were feeling, XYZ, they'd be like, oh, that's crazy. What are you talking about? You're not depressed. You don't have PTSD, right? So, I mean, I would imagine it's that much more harder to even seek those board of directors, as we were referring to them before. And in wealth engineering situation, when we talk about how much of the weight is on you versus on those who you have around you, I would say that about 90% or more was wealth engineering, but about 10% or so would have to be his board of directors, because for his woman to give the first responders and the police the forewarning that he was going through some kind of crisis, and he still got tased, he was still treated like that. Imagine if she didn't give him the warning.
Yes.
Come on. And then the
Mm.
average woman in our community, if you told them, hey, I am treating you bad, I am doing something that you don't like right now, and it's not my fault, I'm going through a chemical imbalance, half of
Mm.
them wouldn't call the police and be like, hey, it's not no, they'd be like, hey, he's trying to hurt me, da da da. So
Yes.
it leads to a variety of situations.
Yes.
And if we talk about not only it not being discussed within our community, we also have to look at the issue that women in our community, more specifically, can't be told a damn thing. So if you look at someone like Tiffany Haddish, she was kind of destined to fail from the jump because a blind person could see she was going through something. And I pride myself on being as fair and, non-biased as I
Well, you
can,
can't
but
say all women can't be told nothing now and be fair now. Come on now. Come
a
on now.
majority, at least I can say men shy away from giving constructive criticism at times,
No,
and sometimes
I'm
women
hoping
should
it's
as well.
constructive. But you can't tell women nothing. Everybody can see Tiffany Haddish did not listen.
Look at
Like,
how
oh
they
my
had
goodness,
no no
that's
no
like
no no
woo,
no.
woo,
Look
woo,
at
woo.
how they handled Monique. A fellow woman came out and just said, "Hey, don't wear pajamas and bonnets," and they almost canceled her. So yes, by and large, you kind of
But
can't
not
tell them
everybody
nothing.
disagreed. Not everybody
Yep.
disagreed. There's a lot of women
But
who stood
but
with
the ones who
Monique.
disagreed were the minority, right?
Well, we'll leave that for
Exactly.
another day. We'll leave that for another day. But I'm
Yeah,
just saying, you can't
but
say
I feel
every
you.
woman can't be told nothing. That's too broad. That's too
I would
broad.
say I would say on average there is a stereotype that it is hard to give them constructive criticism if I'm going to be
Oh,
more
okay,
politically
okay,
correct.
okay, okay.
And as biased as I am, I can see the signs with her. First of all, she cuts off her hair. We know in our community how much women pride their hair and their image. And most of the times that they do that action, it's because of crisis. Just like most of the time a middle-aged white man buys a Harley and he never rode a motorcycle in his life, it's because of crisis. So, I mean, the signs are there. She makes the statements while she's with Common. She says the only way she can, marry him is if he buys her an apartment. And I'm Mr. Real Estate. At first, I was
Yo,
like, oh, okay, maybe she's trying to, pride herself on going over assets instead of liabilities. But no, that was kind of a wild statement if you look back on it. And then the
yeah,
relationship
yeah. I will
ends,
agree with
and
that.
then
But
and then her
yeah,
mentor passes, and pop
yeah.
goes the weasel.
Well, listen.
And
Hindsight is
if we had a
2020.
stronger community, all I'm
Hindsight is
saying is if we
2020.
had a stronger community, then she would have resources that were readily available and
Yes.
maybe it would have ended this way. So
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm gonna give you that. I'm just saying hindsight is 2020. Only her inner circle really, 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 and she really, really knows all the ins and outs. But as you can say, as we look back, that's one of the things we're doing tonight is that there are breadcrumbs, let's
she
say.
she pulled a
That
Britney Spears and shaved it all
no,
off. Come on.
I cut my hair off one time too, but it wasn't like mental distress. But I hear you. Some people do that. Like I didn't do full baldy. I always keep a little bang, but I like a little sometimes with my back and my side be shaved. But it is definitely like I want something new. I definitely is like no. Y'all see me, but y'all don't see me. Definitely is a sign of something going on, a change. But as you say, sometimes that full baldy, it can be just for like okay, big chop. I want to go natural, or it could definitely be a sign of a cry for help. Absolutely. Absolutely. So when she did that, there is also looking at it, one could speculate definitely that there was some there. But again, we see what happened. So it's hindsight is 2020. But ain't no telling. But Mr. Real Estate will be, let me see what the chat says. Mr. Real Estate will be my guest Thursday. And I'm excited to have him. Gaston say I can come on to the male panel. Y'all, I don't know. I'm gonna just sit in the back and listen. Listen, I did not have my women's only brunch. Leave, Matt, because I want to plan a women's only brunch because I'm used to it. And Lee say, no, we don't exclude. We don't have women's only brunches, Suzette. Listen, women, just how men act differently when there's only men. And that's why we have, schools where there's only guys and only girls. It's different, guys. Yes, Gas's World say he all inclusive. You know what? Y'all so funny.
That's
But
sexist.
Yes, say focus. What you talking about? Mr. Real Estate will listen and give us some good insight. What are we talking about? Oh, to Chef over here, like cutting up. Yes, we're reading the room. Hey, Jessica. Hey, y'all out. Okay.
Hey, The
I
person who left that comment was probably a woman who doesn't respond well to constructive criticism.
no, we leaving it there. We're not going back and forth.
Mr.
I'll
Real
allow you
Estate, I
just
just
to
shaved my head. How dare you? No, I'm kidding. I'm done. I'm done.
when we get to talking all day Thursday. I can't wait. Mr. Real Estate, who is, like he said, a new content creator, has been a supporter of my content. I wanted to support him. And I was like, yo, come on my stuff. Let's talk. And he's going to talk a little bit of business. He's going to talk a little bit of his story. He's very young, 27, and already made some very big moves and is teaching others, has his own company, all this kind of stuff. I want to get into the professional development side as well as some personal stuff. I hope he's okay with that. But y'all catch me and Mr. Real Estate. I'm going to give you, y'all so funny. See how they get messy? Yes, moments with Mickey that get messy talking about. But Mr. Real Estate, I'll leave you to make your final comments. Then we'll go to Mr. Wealth Engineering, who came up on an impromptu. Thank you, Wealth Engineering, for finding your way over here. Yeah, I'm excited just to have this conversation tonight. It's been very fruitful. Even just some of what you guys have just recently said is helping me. So I'm hoping it's helping somebody. Drop a 2 in the comment if it's helping you, or if you're enjoying this type of comment, drop a 2, a number 2 in the chat if this is helping you. If y'all want me to stay on some legal topics, let me know. If you want me to mix it with the personal development like I'm doing tonight, let me know. But wanted to switch it up for you. Wanted to see if you guys liked it. Drop a 2 if you're liking it. But Mr. Real Estate, your final comments before I see you on Thursday. What's up? Tell me.
Yeah, no, I'm all about actionable steps. I don't like to just get on speculating about other people's problems. So, I'd say once again, this goes back to us getting rid of some stigmas within our community on mental health issues by and large, and, making sure that we pick the right support system so that when we do falter, we have some people who can keep us on the right track. But other than that, I'm going to drop down. I'll still be listening, and I'm definitely looking forward to going live with you this week. Shout out to
Yes,
the
it's gonna
chat.
be
Salute to the panel.
Yes, it's gonna be so good. Come join me and Mr. Real Estate. Everybody drop a 2 if you like this type of content. Mr. Real Estate, I'll see you Thursday. And I'll email you, sir, if you're listening. I'll email you a link. We can just talk for a few minutes here to prep for Thursday. But all right, Mr. Wealth Engineering, the man of the hour. They love the mix show. What do you have to say? What are your final?
For me, basically, I think I mentioned quite some already, but forgive yourself for any mistakes you have done in the past. It's one thing to when you don't know what you don't know, right? So it's okay to forgive yourself as you grow. And also, definitely, I want to encourage people to really go introspection into themselves, figure it out who they are in your mind, who they are in their hearts, and find your purpose. That can really help when it comes to depressions or anything that has to do with mental health. It can help a lot. And yes, definitely. And one thing I did is personal, like when you're talking about personal development and all that. One thing I did is a lot of personality tests. I love personality tests a lot, so I definitely encourage people to do that, and also figure out and ask more people about you. Like, you might have your own perception on who you are, but some people might see you totally differently. So definitely ask people about who they are, like who you are, and try to learn, find a pattern. And once you realize who you really are, embrace it. Embrace it. Don't feel shy about it. You gotta embrace it and live your life. Find your purpose, live your life, and go full at it.
You a deep brother. I need you back over here, Wealth Engineering. Y'all see his name, Wealth Engineering, and gave y'all some good gems. I hope you appreciate it. And again, thank you for your vulnerability and your courage and your boldness to speak about even your own story so that we can gain some kind of insight for our own lives. That's what this platform is about. There's so many of us suffering in silence, suffering alone. But we want to start the conversation. As Mr. Real Estate says, we want to create some actionable steps like he just gave you. A lot of people lack purpose. I have shows I've done already on purpose. Go look up Kathy Remy. I did a show probably in November with her about purpose. There's so many people walking around don't know their purpose. But as you said, that was his North Star in all his struggles with mental health, etc. He pushes forward because of his purpose. He understands. And I love the fact that you have the common thread through engineering, giving light, and now through this platform, giving light. Oh, you
Yeah.
deep, brother. You deep, brother. We need to come back together and email me, bro. Email me. I'd
No
love
worries.
to do another collab. He was my impromptu guest based on his appearance on Gaston's World. Shout out to Gaston's World for coming up also impromptu, and for Mr. Real Estate, Queen Regina, and Bernard S. for making this a wonderful conversation. Wealth Engineering, y'all see his name. Go to his channel. Monetized from last week. That's fantastic. Monetize.
Thank
Another
you.
brother hit
Thank
that
you.
monetization mark. We trying to make money, bro. I appreciate y'all. Y'all not supporting the streams. I'm gonna be out here once a week if y'all not. I gotta make some money because this stuff is hard, and we're dedicating a lot of time and effort to it. And we hopefully will see the return, hopefully soon, in a bigger way. But y'all have, I mean, thank you to Ebony, thank you to Real Deal Spencer. I don't even want to call all the names of my super chatters. I usually put them up, and I'm sorry, I got caught up in the discussion. So shout out to you, Mr. Wealth Engineering. If you want to show some love, support this type of content, and encourage a creator. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. And Wealth Engineering, once again, look at his name. Go follow, go subscribe, like, and share his content. Wealth Engineering, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I hope I get a chance to do it again. Okay, brother?
All
All the
right.
way from
Good
Montreal.
night.
I'll
Good.
see you soon. I'll see you very soon. Thank you, Wealth Engineering. Y'all, I have had a remarkable time. Ooh, wee. I've had a remarkable time. Did y'all hit the like button though? I can't even go and see how many likes we got. Please make sure you like if you have been here this whole time and you forgot. It's okay. Go ahead and hit the like button now. This has been again a wonderful, just eye opener. Again, I am praying for Miss Haddish. I hope she gets help in any capacity that will serve her. I think, like I said, Queen Regina brought up a wonderful observation about how sometimes comedians are some of the most they struggle the most. They struggle the most, and people don't know because they're making people laugh. So if this is a cry for help, with all the speculation, all the alleged facts that has taken place, I hope she does get the help she needs. It's not about judgment, it's about each one teach one. So even if we can see her through the lens of, wow, this is a horrible confluence of circumstances. This was her pain from, we could even say back to childhood, but we don't know. We don't know, speculation. But at least in the last couple of months, she's really been struggling. And some of you may be struggling in the same way. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and reach out to mental health providers. Mental health providers. I want you to reach out to therapists, reach out to psychologists, counselors, right? Pastors, whatever, or imams, whoever you use. But this is not a time of life. I feel sorry for especially a lot of our young people. They have had, if you were born after 9/11, you have had a world that now as you come of age that has literally been one of the most scariest worlds ever. So living under this constant stress is having its toll, y'all. And not only on the rich and famous, on everyday people too. So if you are one of those folks that feel a little off, feel a little tightness, feel a little stress, it's all right to say so. It's all right to say so. It's all right to say so. Seek help. We're going to open up the discussions here. I have provided several mental health guests, so you can go back and watch some of the shows that may help you as well. But if it's deep, deep, you guys know intervention from a mental health professional is where it's at. So we encourage that on this platform. We also encourage you to just talk about it, because that release helps so much. So that's what we're doing here. We are bridging the gap between, not only, I like the way, who said that I'm manosphere adjacent. I think that's a good point. That's a good term. I'll take that. I don't want to say manosphere, member of the manosphere, but I like manosphere adjacent. That works for me. But y'all know I got the Patreon. Thank you all of my patrons. I'm going to do the individual shout out for this month, probably Thursday, but all my patrons having wonderful discussions over there as well. Exclusive, not shown on YouTube. I'll be dropping my conference special guest speech. Hopefully those people send it to me real quick, but they get top-notch exclusive discussions as well. And I'm going to say thank you to all my patrons for coming through for me and supporting my content, and also investing in themselves. Y'all gonna get some good food. So invest in yourself. Join the Patreon. Special guest Wealth Engineering. Special guest Gaston's World. Y'all see it. Go support. Go support. Go support. The brothers are doing phenomenally in this space. I love it. I love it. I love to listen. I love to learn. No, Mr. Real Estate, I don't know everything and I can be talked to. What are you saying? Like every woman, y'all don't listen. I'm like, I don't know about that part, Mr. Real Estate. Don't come on this show Thursday talking about it. Mr. Real Estate, I'm gonna email you, bro. I'm gonna email you, bro. I'm gonna email you, bro. Okay. Thank you, Tolu. You have been such a great contributor tonight. Tolu says, the Sonder podcast. I'm not plugging, just want you to know it's me. I didn't know that was you. Cool. Friendsgiving. Salute to the Brethren Wealth Engineering with the gems. Absolutely. We love it. Yeah, it's a fantastic feeling, guys, to be a part of a, conversation starter that has some impact on you all and your lives. So that's what we try to do here. We try to uplift, we try to educate. Oh, we got 115 likes. Okay. Yes, yes, let's go. I thought it was 100. Yes, thank you guys for liking. Thank you so much. Oh, Friendsgiving. Thank you so much for the super chat. Glad you enjoyed. We try to do a little bit of work here. Mr. Real Estate coming up Thursday, Mr. Real Estate. I'm going to try to get the kosher clinician. I think I just listened to him on Chantel Simone. I love what he had to say. So I'm going to try to get him maybe this Saturday or the following one. I got Gaston's World February 5th. I'll also be on a Super Woman's panel. Gaston World is doing a Super Woman's panel, stepping out of his wheelhouse on the 29th. Looking forward to that. And then next Tuesday, so Thursday, Mr. Real Estate, I'm going to drop. I'll hopefully get the flyer done so you guys will see it on the community page, on the community tab. And Tuesday, I'll be with Uncle Stu, the old man on the block, at 7. I'll have my show at 4:30, and then I'll transition directly into Uncle Stu at 7. So got a busy schedule. We trying to do this for real, for real. So I hope you're appreciating the efforts, the planning, the time, and all the stuff that goes into doing this. But we do it for the love, but we're grateful that you guys see value in it. Yes, get them likes up. Thank you, Mr. Real Estate. Looking forward to Thursday. Check your email, like I say, my friend. Wealth Engineering. Bonsoir. Yes, bonsoir. Thank you. 117 now. Fantastic. Yes, Wealth Engineering. We are very, very grateful for you coming on and sharing your story on an impromptu show. I was just calling out your name and the people that you know, and here you were being open and transparent. So thank you for being so bold and so brave. Thank you for shining the light, says Ode to Chef. Thank you very much. Team Compassion, says RM. Yes, 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 yes. You did a great job. Wealth Engineering, says Friendsgiving. Thank you for sharing your story, brother. Absolutely. Touched me very much. Moments with Mickey Red Seal. All right. Oh, no, I'm tired. Ready? I'm ready to go. I'm going to say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Join the Patreon. Please support this type of content. If this is what you want to see, let me know. If you like in the legal topics, I will do more. I'm planning to bring it back, in a more planned way, February, and get those type of shows because I like a little politics and social justice in my mix, a little law, politics, and justice. So if you like that kind of stuff, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna move the train in another direction a little bit. Oh, Suzette is the exception, says Kevin. Mr. Real Estate, you so funny. Okay, I'm going live at 9:30. We're coming over, Gaston. I'm gonna get a bite to eat, and then I will come over. So y'all go over to Gaston's World. Yay! 9:30 it is, my brother. Okay, y'all got 15 minutes. Get a drink or put on your walking shoes. It's too late though, East Coast. I might get on my bike. We'll see. Am I stationary? Thank you again. Thank you for the super chat from the Work From Home Wife of Atlanta. Go follow. We support one another here. Go follow. Go subscribe. Check her out. Fantastic content creator as well. Thank you, Wealth Engineering. All right, Gaston, I'm gonna have to catch my breath and come over and help moderate. Suzette, you are really unique. Honestly, like a breath of fresh air. Thank you. Please stop acting like you the standard out here. You know what? I have more confidence in my ladies than I think you guys do. I know good women. I know solid women that listen, that are, just loving Christ-centered people that are not out to hurt men and are not out to like play men. Yeah, I know a lot of women like that and don't want to run men. I know a lot of women like that. I think sometimes Black women get masculinized and therefore everybody is seen as this. And there's a whole thing with that, and too deep to go into now. Y'all, I'm trying to say goodbye to everybody. All right. Gaston's World, 9:30. Y'all go over to Gaston's World, 9:30. Gaston's World, 9:30 going live. I'm scared of Uncle Stu. You know what? I'm going to be up there at 7 o'clock. Hopefully he doesn't do me like TLA. Next Tuesday, 4:30 for me. It'll be a long day, but I'm looking forward to it. 4:30 for me, show with a lady named Chanel Fair. And then Uncle Stu at 7 on the 25th. So y'all see the flyer. I'll make sure to post those stuff. Yay, 120 likes. Get the likes. Get the likes. Thank you, RM. Fantastic moderator. Also giving us some good commentary. Thank you, my darling. PA in the building. Pennsylvania in the building. RM, one of the hardest working moderators on YouTube. I appreciate you so very much. You keep me, just on top of my game. Thank you, RM. Thank you, Gaston's World. And thank you, Gail at Night, when she can come over. Thank you very much, RM. You have been fantastic. All right. Ebony talking about low-key scare. I don't know what Uncle Stu gonna say. Listen, I will take a pause if Uncle Stu go to left field for me. I will be like, Uncle Stu, I thought we were just gonna talk about this. We have to get it together. Please do a disclaimer of your next guest. Y'all, Mr. Real Estate is a cool dude. Mr. Real Estate got some good insight. He just started. He's like 2 weeks in. He's gonna help with, if those who want to be in real estate, like hello, like his name says. Yes, we're good to go. Yes, but you're not. Listen, Doug, get out, Doug. Why you always trying to do? I got so much to talk about. When Gaston's World comes back, and y'all go over to Gaston's World 9:30. When he comes back, yeah, we have a lot to talk about when he comes back on my show. Trust me. I'm gonna pick a cool topic. Curtsies says RM. Yay, take a bow for sure. Mr. Real Estate says Mr. Real Estate is controversial. What can I do? Well, at least we'll know Thursday will be very interesting. But no, he is a deep brother. Just listening to him participate on other panels, on my panels. I've already seen, I'm like, ooh, good insight. We got something to say. So let's say it. So I'm excited. Thursday, Mr. Real Estate will be my special guest, getting to know him a little bit of professional motivation and understanding, his approach to business and other things. And everybody's saying, thank you, Ebony, Mr. Real Estate. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Fantastic. So we're going to, like I say, have a unique voice, new voice in the YouTube space. Come aboard. And like I say, it's a big YouTube kind of fraternity we building and supporting one another. Shout out to all of you guys who are making content. I know it's not easy. Trust me. Like I said, today was a long day. And I was like, I got to do my Tuesday. So I found a topic that could suit me. And then here we are. So you guys made this fantastic. It's not about me. It's about y'all. And I have the best chat ever. I know Lee'd like to say that. But shout out to my chat who keeps me on my toes, actually dropping facts and wonderful insights. My chat is also like an added expert. So thank you for all of you guys who contribute, like, share, all of that. I am so grateful, and I'm so hungry. So let me grab something before I head over to Gaston's World. Yes, yeah, you have a clip on a Trolls channel, really? Oh wow. Mr. Real Estate, let's link up, please. Check your email, okay, sir? All right, y'all, it's been love. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate all of your support. Can't wait for Thursday, and then next week Uncle Stu and my guest Tuesday, Chanel Fair. And I'll see what I'm doing Saturday. I might do a political and legal topic on Saturday. I'm not sure yet. All right, bye y'all. Love y'all. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you for all your support. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Bye now. Go to Gaston's World. Bye.